Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my second show of the day. This is about my favorite one of the day, I have to say. Getting on with a calf update. We've got a very, very, very busy show today, but we've got so many things going on. It's going to be a long night. I guarantee you, midnight is definitely in our future. There's no way we're not going to get done before then. But yeah, it's been a very adventurous week. Lots of things, fun things going on. I see number one Marvel fan renewed his membership, I believe. I think at least that's what I saw popped up on the screen there for a minute. Yeah, number one Marvel fan. So yeah, but we've got a good show, and I don't want to leave Mr. Bob Layton in the green room for too long. But you know what? He decided that maybe I haven't been doing a good enough job on the video editing. So he and his friend Jason put together a marvelous "Where in the World is Bob Layton" video clip. So we're going to be seeing that thing to get things kicked off. And I imagine we'll have Bob with us the moment that is over to talk about this amazing week or so that he has had. So without further ado, let me get this. This video is a little bit longer. It's about, I think it's 10 or 11 minutes. So I have to play it a little differently than I normally would, but it is well worth it. So let's see. Here we go.
Lucio Billy Castro, I know I promised I wouldn't make another video unless I was traveling to an exotic country. So, believe it or not, I'm not in Korea.
I'm back in the USA, baby. Not only that, I'm here in the wintertime in sunny Florida. Bill, hit that theme music.
I had a lot of plans on this particular trip, but before I could do any of them, I had to go to the DMV and get my license renewed. Renew.
Okay, right now I'm back in the States and I'm with Penny, and Penny was my stylist when I was here. I know it doesn't look like I have a lot of style, but it's so good to see you, darling. And I stopped.
Missed you.
Oh, thank you. I missed you guys too. Now I stopped in here on my way to my grandson's wedding, but I said I had to see Penny and tell her about what's going on, and I'm trying to talk her into coming to Drink and Draw. So hopefully get her and the family to show up. And there's my buddy Carlos. Say hi, Carlos. All right. Anyway, more later. Thank you. I love you. You're done? Because that was really embarrassing. Joe, don't do that. So I've been at the wedding for like 90 minutes. There is 180 people here. Yeah. Golly. Okay. I know 6 of them. Where's the man of the hour here?
Yeah.
I flew 18 hours in an airplane for this, okay? You got anything to say?
This is gonna be the best day ever. Thanks for coming.
For you? Hi guys, I am outside the public library here in Seffner on a Sunday morning at around 9 o'clock. And if you ask me why I'm doing that, that's why.
Well, as you can see, I am back in Florida. And when I am in Florida, I stay with my dear friend Jason Spriggs and his lovely wife Jill. And it occurred to me on this episode that Jason and I have a lot more in common other than having been married to the same woman. We both are artists, and he is quite an avid collector. And I thought, while I'm here, I'm going to show you some of Jason's incredible collection of art and of ray guns. He has more ray guns than probably anybody I've ever heard of. He's probably one of the premier collectors of ray guns. Yeah. Yes?
I have no idea, and I'm looking forward to hearing from anybody out there who will tell me where I stand in the pantheon of ray gun collection.
Yeah, but wait till
I honestly don't know.
I'm going to take you on a tour of this, so wait till you guys see it. You're going to love it.
As I said, Jason has one of the most premier ray gun collections I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to take you on a little tour of his man cave here. So come on in, guys. Let me show you this. Let's start with some of these lobby cards that he has. These are great. All vintage with ray guns and stuff. I particularly love this French one. This kid scares the bejesus out of me. I don't know why, but it's like he just looks frightening. But these are really cool. And now let me show you the actual collection itself. Okay, come on in. All right, guys, come here and check this out. Just give him a shot of the room, man. So here you see is Jason's art collection, his books, his. This is only a fraction of what you have in terms of ray guns, right? They're all in bins.
Yeah. You actually caught us on this in the middle of me cataloging stuff stored where I can get to it quickly and itemize it, stick it in a bin, catalog it, and get on with the photography for the book.
I find it incredibly fascinating. Yeah, just the look at all this stuff. Now you have this stuff in a case. So is this like particularly valuable?
Well, no, yeah, some of it is. I mean, that was the very first ray gun ever. The Buck Rogers XC31. And then other Buck Rogers iterations. But no, like I said, we're in the middle of cataloging, so stuff is the displays are not at their best, shall we say?
Oh no, it's great. But I love these helmets too. I'd like to know what the function of the little the spaceship on the top of it is. But you have a bunch of them.
This was big in Studio 54.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at this helmet. This would be great on the beach if it actually got radio.
I know, right?
Some of these guns over here are fantastic, man. Not only that, though, you have comics that are ray gun related too, like the Mystery in Space there.
Yeah.
I remember that episode as a kid. I remember that issue. These are ones that I'm fascinated with. These are actually they're plastic, but they're actually Pez dispensers, aren't they?
Yeah.
People used to shoot at each other with Pez's.
Yes.
Oh my God! What a wonderful era. What era? What year? This is 1950s.
1956. Yeah. The Pez.
Give them a good look at this because that's amazing.
Yeah, I'll do a cut-in. They're very hard to find, and when you do find them, they're not particularly affordable.
And what was one of these go for?
These days, probably $500 up.
Wow, I'm putting that back down. I think there's a Pez in there, though. I can hear it. Good, great. There's a 60-year-old Pez in there.
No, that's actually my mortgage inside there.
This one, I know, is extremely valuable. The
Pyroplastics Pyrotomic Disintegrator.
Yeah, this is a rifle. This was made of particularly brittle plastic, so there's not many of them floating around anymore.
It's just amazing that it exists.
And yeah, I know, right? Still, and then here, look at this. Open this box. Open that. This is its sister, the Pyrotomic Disintegrator.
Oh wow! Can I touch it?
Pistol. Yeah.
Well, it weighs almost nothing. I
Right.
mean, it's how does these survive, Jason?
Many of them didn't.
It's just to me, it's amazing that you've been able to find these.
Well, through a lot of eBay, some friends around the world, yourself included, and auctions, heritage auctions. We got some stuff from Heritage right here, which we'll hit
That's
that.
really good. It's our sponsor on the show for ComicArt.
Well, there you go.
I wanted to bring this up because this looks really familiar.
It should. This is when I was just getting started, you were in Japan, and
This is 2017, right?
ish, yeah, and you brought me back a cousin of this guy, and I recently found it.
I had to smuggle it into the car. What I did was I wrapped it in like brown paper several times, and I wrote on the outside of it, "This is not a real gun. It's a gift for my grandson. Please don't confiscate." Okay, I'm going to try to smuggle a metal gun into the country somehow for you, and there you go. Anyway, I mean, you just see they're just beautiful guns. Here's a 10
plate, yeah.
10 plate rifle. That's huge.
Shoots ping pong balls.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cool. We should have a ping pong ball.
No, I knew a couple. I have a couple of old girlfriends.
Can we have a ping? Oh, yeah, okay. But don't talk about bubbles. All right, I don't want you children this.
Speaking of bubbles, you got the Martian water bug.
That's great too.
With the box.
But what I wanted to show the guys also is the fact that not only are you an avid collector of these toy ray guns, but you're also quite the artist yourself, and you have a collection of comic art, as well as like I said, I've been kind of mentoring you for a few years, and you see here he's got a beautiful. Well, you and Jill knew George.
Jill knew Georgie. I didn't.
George Perez and Bill Sienkiewicz here,
that.
and Mike Perkins, and you got a great Al Williamson that I love this Al Williamson piece here. And you know, you got some stuff by me, of course, because I'm family.
Well, it's our first collaboration.
Yeah,
Right there.
This is me giving you a Series 18.
Just
Let me
here.
show them that it paid off. Come here, check it out. Because here's some of Jason's art he has in his portfolio. Look at this. This is a page he did for his sister Georgie. And yes, guys, she really is this hot. This is not an exaggeration. Georgie's a hottie, and I love this piece, though. The energy and everything he had to it. This was for her 50th birthday, believe it or not. You guys age well, thank goodness. All right, I love this page that you did. This was from a story, right?
That's from a project called Rari for Silver Phoenix Publishing, Charles D. Massant.
You don't have a cat fetish.
I don't have a cat fetish at all.
Okay, well, good, because people would wonder looking through this portfolio.
Yeah, this is just some recent stuff.
You're right. No,
Recent
but I mean,
projects.
I love the detail or whatever. I mean, this is beautiful stuff, man. So, guys, you know, this is the comic art section of our show, and here's a couple more pages from that story. So when I come here to stay, it's not just because that we're friends, because we have a lot in common, and I've always been an admirer of his amazing collection, and I'm so happy I could share it with you guys. So back to the studio and Bill Castro. And there you go. Hey, Bill. I'm back in the USA, baby.
My mic was muted. I had to do that. Everything's good, man. How are you guys?
Well, I'm fine. I've recovered from a really, really busy week and an 18-hour flight over here. As you can see, I crammed a lot into 5 days. What I left out of there is I got food poisoning at the wedding. So I had a sick day in between there, too, where I was pretty puny. But otherwise, I'm fine. But I wanted to share everything with everybody since I was here. And again, we said I'd do one of these whenever I was on the road, and here I am.
That is true. So how many ray guns did you smuggle in from South Korea?
None. Actually, it's hard to find anything in South Korea for a couple of reasons. One, because not much survived the war. All right, the Korean War. So you're not going to get anything past the earlier than later.
70s.
Yeah, 70s or so. Because of the Korean War, everything was destroyed. There are shops there. I haven't had a chance to explore them much, but whenever I see go someplace, like we're in Manila or whatever, I always look around the con, and if I see a ray gun, I'll send a picture to Jason to see, because I know this, like I said, his collection is, how many would you say you have?
8.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He's gonna be.
That's why we're cataloging. Like you said in the video, we're still cataloging. I think at last count, about 610. But
Yeah.
a lot of those, not a lot. The percentage of them are doubles. You buy one, then you get a better one, and you get a better one. And until the book is done, we're probably going to keep doing that until somebody kicks me in the head. Says finish the damn thing.
I guess it's not that much different than collecting art, is it, Bill? I mean, you get a page by Sienkiewicz, and then you find a better page by Sienkiewicz, and you sell the older one, right?
Of course, you always can trade up. I see you have an amazing OAX auction paddle hanging from the back.
And just by pure coincidence, it what people don't realize is I'm here tonight to talk about OAX with you.
That is true. That is true. You're not staying in the States, though, right? You're going back to South
I'm heading
Korea.
back to Korea, 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the reasons why I'm on the show tonight, because I want to remind all the people, the attendees, and the wannabe attendees, and so on,
that my work window, if it's the last week of January, right? My window for getting anything done is about 8 weeks. That's the only time I'm going to be in the studio. So if they're going to get those orders in, they better get them in now, baby, because otherwise you're just going to get out of luck.
And you've done, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8 so far, but you're done with those. We're ready to move on and get some more.
Well, I'm just saying, for those people that still want to get one, they're going to have to get that order in by the 23rd. And like I said, I'm only going to have 8 weeks to execute all that stuff before I have to turn around and come back. You know, so yeah, I just get those in now. But you have some of the stuff that I've done already, right?
Yeah, you sent me some scans of a couple of the pieces that you've done.
Yeah, the that Iron Man was a bitch. Yeah.
Are you gonna say that to the buyer when you hand it over?
No, I did.
You already did.
Okay, it's like you want these specific armors in the laboratory, blah 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 blah. I mean, a couple of these we've already shown before, but I just wanted to bring them out so people can see what I'm giving them when they put in an order through OAX. Yeah, that's your favorite armor. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, you wanted a 126 figure.
Oh, this one here, yeah.
Yeah, some of these are just commissions, and there's a few non-OAX commissions in there, Bill. I just do it because this is a comic art show, right?
Of course.
That's why I was showing you some of Jason's work, because Jason does. What I want you to know is, you see that Fantastic Four one there?
I do.
A friend of mine brought me back a new brush pen from Japan, and I inked that entire thing with that brush pen. It is one of the most amazing tools I've ever worked with. I don't recall the name of it, but I bought one for Jason too. It is a fantastic tool that, depending on the pressure, you can rule. I mean, I ruled the backgrounds with it, and I still inked the figures with it too. Huh. It's got amazing versatility.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. As soon as I find out more about it, I'll let some of the other people know. But you can only get them in Japan. So fortunately, Japan is only a commuter flight away. So I have people going back and forth all the time. But I'm going to be using them whoever. Who got the Stingray? That's our friend Jeff Harnett.
Yeah, we got too many people who like Stingrays nowadays. I thought we only had one Stingray fan out there in the art collecting world.
Yeah. Yeah, well, again, like I said, I have fun with these color recreations because I get to work with the Copic markers, and then I go back over with acrylic and smooth it all out, right? I mean, that, like the solid blue up there, the fanfare is all acrylic. It comes out just like glass. It's wonderful. The ROM is actually a sketch cover I did just for fun one day, because I love doing ROM, So that one's I think I sent it to Spencer, but Joey had given me a whole bunch of blank ROM covers, so I saw it just sitting there one day when I was straightening up my office. I said, I'm gonna throw something on that. So there you go.
Well, you
love
made
ROM, right?
ROM 2814 in the chat is very happy to see that.
Yeah, I dig me some ROM, man. I had a fun time when I worked on the book with Ditko, and I did about 8 covers on ROM.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like I have a look. This was actually not an OAX commission, but I thought it was really cool, and you guys would love to see it. One of the guys that works on the military base, a friend of mine, he's a major there, works in cybersecurity. He came up with the idea of taking one of the old Iron Man covers like that and having them in stealth mode, right? And all in black. So I think it came out pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's stealth Spidey. It's Black Spidey and Black Spider-Man there. So there you go.
Now, what pieces? You said you had some pieces with you, right?
Well, it's more of the same. I just brought the originals because I brought them back to the States.
Okay.
So I was just going to leave them here rather than risk. Oh, I had this this commission. It was
I remember that. That's an OAX commission right there, right?
Yeah, As an OAX commission, they wanted me to take the cover to the Wolverine cover, the Hulk Wolverine thing, and the Todd McFarlane did, and turned it into a Rye from Valiant cover, which was really difficult to do because you think about the Wolverine claws, it doesn't match up right? So I had to play with it a little bit to get it to work. But there you go. So
I know the feeling.
we all have to play with it a little bit. Yeah, we're all getting older. It is true. Anyway, so how we doing with OAX? Well, tell me about it.
We're doing great. You know, we're ticket sales are great. We've been, I mean, I don't know. We've got a new event director for CAF. So Tatiana Dykes is helping us out. She's
great.
She is great. She's doing a lot of extra work for us right now. But this was her first really big week. Well, I could say that. Maybe it's 2 weeks now. She's been working hard for us. But yes, it's going to take a lot of work off of Kezra and my shoulders, which is good. You know. But Tatiana's great. I worked with her at Big Wow, and
I've known her for years. She's a wonderful person.
Yep. I've got her on later in the show too. Just talk about
well, great. Well, we'll have to hang in and watch a little bit more. So yeah, I wanted to find out about that. I want to see how my suite's coming. Ask Casper how, whether he's got my suite reserved.
Oh yeah, I think we have an executive suite lined up for you. And I guarantee you there will be a cookie, or at least one on your pillow when you get there.
We left out Nikki because
no, I haven't forgot. I still have it. I've got it queued up here.
There's another big event coming week.
What suite?
Well, I'm in the States.
But so it's a reminder. I mean, looking at the OAX commissions that you did, that anybody can go over to oa-expo.com. You'll see a list of artists that are taking pre-OAX commissions, and just click on Bob's logo, and away you go. You can get one of your own. I think you have like 5 or 6 different options: color, not colored, smaller, larger, busts, full figures, you name it. Bob draws it.
I like a challenge. I always do. You know that, my friend. It's like, so it also, by the way, I didn't mention it, but it's colder than balls back in Korea.
Not here.
The reason why I jumped into the pool was just because everyone's freezing their asses off back in Seoul.
Did you just send them pictures and let them know how bad it is here?
I got up this morning and I deliberately so I could dial into Drink and Draw, because it goes on at 7 o'clock in the morning here, right? Now with the time difference. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk to MPO and Joey and the gang, right? And everybody. And I sent them the video so they could see it. And,
you should have FaceTimed them while you were in the pool.
Well, not this morning, not at 7 o'clock. But I wanted to just let them know that I was enjoying the sun and the water and all that kind of stuff. It's quite nice. Jill and Jason have a wonderful pool. So there you go.
Pool, pond,
Pool pond. Anyone, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard about those pool ponds. So we wanted to show off some work that you've recently done for Nikki B. And
Well, that was the big secret project, was Terminator.
Yes.
Because when I remember I was lobbying on the show here when I heard he got the license, right? And so he came to me about it, and unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time to do it. When I got back from Manila, they gave me like a weekend to get it done. So, but here's the result. Was I thought it would be really cool to show them printing, 3D printing flesh onto a Terminator. So Alberto, our friend Alberto, really loves it because he purchased it from me. So
I know. That's where I lifted the image on the right from. I went over to Alberto's gallery and grabbed that because
exactly. No, I mean, what I love about Alberto? I mean, he bought it sight unseen.
Wow.
Whatever you do, I want it. It's like you gotta love a guy like that, man. I had a dozen of those. My life would be perfect. But
we all can only have 10 Albertos in our lives.
No, but anyway, I tried to give Nicky, his money's worth there, man. It was really a blast. I hope I get to do a couple more, And like I said, while I'm sitting here, It comes out next week, 13th. So go out there and reserve your copy now, by all means. And so the rest of the time that I'm here, I'm going to go see my daughter's coffee shop. She opened a coffee shop in Riverview, and so we're having a drink and draw there on the 19th, in honor of me being in town. So it's Foxtail Coffee. I think that was in the video, but I can send you another thing about that. But
I did. In the newsletter I sent out today, I put a link in it to the to your drink and draw that you're doing. I think that's on. Was it like a Tuesday?
Tuesday
night, right?
Foxtail in Riverview. They can. I've already posted it on all my social media sites. They can go there. Jason will be there with me, and we'll be drawing. And I'll be signing. Anybody comes in, I'll sign anything they want for free. With all they have to do is purchase a drink or some food or whatever, and show me the receipt, and they get free whatever. Because my daughter is a capitalist. You know, so
enough, I actually don't have an interview on that Tuesday night. I had one and it got moved, so I don't. Maybe I'll show up.
I would love that, man. We could do a segment for my next Where in the World is Bob Layton with you.
Exactly. Actually. All right. Well, okay. I'm up for it. I'm game.
There's more shit I gotta film.
Non-stop. I spend some of my time working with.
Doesn't Bob pay you?
What do you think of Jason's artwork? I mean, the guy's coming along.
Fantastic. It was. I don't know. The cat and the train car looked fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's definitely coming along. So by the time I'm here, he gets free art lessons. So I'm gonna push him along. So
and free art pens too.
What's that? Yeah. I'm gonna
an art pen.
Get a chance to try it yet, though. You know, although he's more of an electronic guy than I am. You know, but it's like I'm OG all the way, right? Because we like selling those original pages, don't we, baby?
That's where the money is.
That's where the money is, my
All those kids today, boy, they don't know what they're missing out on when they're using their Wacom tablets and iPads to draw.
I'm trying to work with those Korean kids all the time. I mean, you know, teaching them that, like, hey, put that on paper. I mean, thank goodness Danny Kim has caught on to that. A few of them have. You know, it's like, hey, you know, you put it on paper, baby, it has a value, you know, to say the least. So
in my defense, I bought the tablet just so I could get one particular job out really quickly. But I'm much more of a traditional analog.
You had the drawing table. There was art on it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
If you didn't say anything, I wouldn't have known that you have at least flirted with the dark side.
I have. I've been flirting for a long time. Now I'm jumping in balls deep.
You know? I know we only have a minute, so tell me what's on the show tonight, Bill.
I have Eranga on next. He's going to be talking about his OAX commission opportunities, and then I've got Tatiana and a artist named Ryan Pancoast is going to be joining us. They just released that big Magic the Gathering Marvel crossover card lot. I forget what it's called, but so we're going to be talking about that with Tatiana because she works with a lot of artists in the Magic the Gathering area of the world, and so we're gonna talk about that, and then I get into my usual PR blitz for the rest of the night.
That's usually when I fall asleep, Bill.
I know, it's okay. But well, you're not. Well, wait a minute. You can't fall asleep usually. It's when you're in Seoul. By that time it's like 10:30. What do you take a nap?
Well, no, 14 hours difference now. We're back to the. You're on at 11 o'clock.
You're allowed to fall asleep, Matt, while you're here.
I'm a time traveler. Yeah, you're on at 11 o'clock in the morning now, in Seoul.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got a couple art packages to open up today. I mean, you know,
right.
Usual shtick.
Well, I won't keep it anymore. Thank you for allowing me to do another episode of Where in the World is Bob Layton.
Well, anytime Jason wants to video anything, I'm all for it.
You know, thank Jason for doing such a great job with the production.
That was fun. It was a collaboration.
Yeah. So usually you won't get that slick of one for me, as you know.
No, not at all. But I have to tell you that if I was scoring you on that dive, I'd give you like 2. Okay, just let me know.
Buddy.
All right. Well, listen. It was a great video. I will, if it's okay with you, Jason. I'll post it to the channel as like a standalone video. You all right with that?
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
Because it's also kind of hoping if there are any collectors of these things out there that they'll contact him. Because that's how you find these things is other people or people that have had them their entire lives or whatever.
It takes a village. It takes a space station.
It's much rarer than and I love these guns. Some of these guns, we could only show a few of them, but some of them are just like crazy. Amazing what they let kids play with.
That's right. You shoot your eye out with some of those, especially those Pez ones.
Yeah, those Pez ones. Yeah, can you believe $500 a pop?
No.
The fact that he has three.
That's the low end.
Yeah, okay, but I'm just saying the fact that he owns three of them is just insane that they exist at all.
Some crimes may have been committed. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, but I stay here every time I come to visit, right? Even when I was living in California, and it just occurred to me when I got here this time, well, people should see this. Nobody really sees this, and I thought it would be really kind of fun to take you guys on a tour this time.
And I rarely get to show it off. So for those of you who want to know more, perfect segue. We're at Mr. Ray Gun Adventures on Instagram, which ports over to Facebook, and just good old fashioned .mrraygun.com.
There you go.
I saw the banner or the glowing neon sign above you guys. It says
Oh yeah, Jason is a master of something.
out of camera right now.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey, have fun this evening. Don't drink too much, and do a few laps in the pool before you go to bed.
You know that. But listen,
I know.
and tell Castro that I'll hopefully see him next week or the week after.
All right, and I'm planning
Come
on
to drink and draw. Bill, come to drink and draw.
I'm planning on.
The
I might bring
19th.
like one of my kids or something with me. We'll have
Foxtail. Go. You find it on Instagram or any of my social media.
Riverview, Florida. I got it.
All right. Good show. Right. Let's go.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right. So always fun to get to hang out with Bob, and we got to hang out with Jason and see his amazing ray gun collection. That is a first on the ComicArt Live channel. With 5 years in the can with these shows, and finally we've got some ray guns here for everyone to appreciate. Now, next up, a man who needs no introduction, and I can promise you he is not wearing a Psylocke costume. Eranga D is in the house. Wait, oh man, no, we got to go this way. There we go.
What's up, Bill?
What can I say, man? It's good to be in Cafe HQ these days. I'm a happy man. A little overworked, but life is good. How about you?
Good. You've got some assistants now, which is kind of neat, right?
Even when you bring people in, you have it creates more work in its own way. We had email issues the other day. I spent like an hour and a half trying to figure out what was going on there. It's like, yeah, at some point I think it kind of catches up, and then then the things kind of taper off. But no, I mean, having Tatiana on board right now is a lot of fun. Obviously, we all love Tatiana, and yeah, it's just cool to have somebody else in the room when we're having conversations where got an email chain going, and it's not just Casper and I.
Yeah, absolutely. Tatiana was perfect, man. As soon as you made that announcement, I was thrilled. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we're very happy, and obviously we had the other announcement where we're now the owner of IC3, that IndieCon in Connecticut, and have brought Matt Sardo on to do his role as director of digital communications. So he'll be helping us out on just some of the stuff that I've been tackling or not tackling well, and all that kind of stuff, which is good.
So like social media and that kind of stuff, is that what digital communications comes under?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And hey, maybe we'll start seeing some what are they called, like the bookmark segments in our videos, so that people can skip straight to the Eranga segment tonight versus the back and forth or whatever, the things that I never do. So yeah, all that.
I gotta say, watching you say goodbye to Bob, being someone who's from a Brown family, I appreciate it a lot, because there's usually 7 goodbyes. Because there's like a goodbye and then a story and then a goodbye. It's literally like how I say goodbye to my aunts, my mom and dad. I prepare early, so I was I was ready to go. I was like, I knew where this is going.
Oh yeah, no, well Bob's good. He gets it. He's been in entertainment for long enough. When he knows he has a heart out at this point in time, he's got to be ready to go. So
Yeah.
And he
No,
can,
it was always enjoy listening to Bob.
yeah, there you go. Kazra's he's used to the long goodbyes as well. Apparently.
That's right. It really is an insult. Like if you say goodbye and just walk out of the house, it's a recipe for a family feud.
I get it. Not around here though. We're like get up, get out. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just the Midwestern sensibility, and I don't know. My father-in-law can't. You know, if he could get up out of the chair fast enough, he'd kick me out the door when it's time to go. But he can't. Those walkers don't move too fast. It's
Right.
It's so white. I don't. Hey, what can I say? I mean, I am pretty white. But anyway, so I mean, we haven't talked in a long time now. I mean, so
No.
what's been going on in your life for the last 3 months? Have you been busy making art? I mean, I see a few posts on your socials and everything, but how's all that?
Yeah, it's been busy, man. The day job keeps me busy. Like the art stuff has kept me really busy recently. And my folks are in town. They're visiting from Sri Lanka, so it's kind of balancing, taking them around, and I can't complain too much about having mom's home cooked food. That's pretty freaking fantastic.
That is very nice.
We don't get a lot of Sri Lankan food here,
No.
So yeah. So mom's been cooking.
Cooking at home at all?
What, me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a joke. No. No. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, Kasha says my sweater is tight. Sweater. But it is tight. I'll put on like at least 10 pounds, I want to say. Yeah. It's all good stuff. I'll get it off later.
Marcus
Mama's good.
Mom caterer for OAX. Yeah, well, the hotel won't allow that, but it's a nice thought.
They're leaving at the end of the month. So
right. Antoine wants to know, what is a Sri Lankan food? I mean, what's a common meal?
Oh, so traditional Sri Lankan food, just because it's an island, there's a lot of seafood, right? So there's a lot of fish, crab curry is like a thing. It's Sri Lankan food is super spicy, regardless of the fact that it's close to India. The food is like very different. Sri Lankan food, like the base ingredients, like coconut plays a huge part in it. So there's a lot of like coconut curries, stuff like that. Whereas Indian food, the base is ghee and butter, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of curries, a lot of coconut based dishes, and then there's also a little bit of colonial influence there, right? Because the Dutch were there for a while, the Portuguese were there for a while. We took nothing away from the English, thank God. So English food played no part. But yeah, so there's certain dishes that have some of the colonial flavors in it as well, with chicken and beef and that kind of stuff. But seafood is a thing, it's a whole thing.
Great to me. That's one thing I don't get enough of is seafood. Maureen's not a seafood fan. She doesn't.
No.
Nope, not at all. I have to do the cooking when I want something special. Every once in a while she'll throw in a box of popcorn shrimp. Does that count? I'm not saying that the Maureen's listening right now. I'm not
calling Maureen to the map.
Oh boy, yeah. She's not one. Discerning taste, those Kazra. Kazra knows. I mean, Emma's favorite food right there. Bill bakes dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets because Emma loves them. Emma literally got a couple of stuffed animals in the shape of dinosaur chicken nuggets the other day. They were on the table, and I'm like, "Are those what I think they are?" She's like, "Yeah, Dad. Look, and they got a zipper on them, and you can pull more of them out of it." I'm like, "Oh my God." You're 19 years old, and you've got a chicken nugget plushie on my dinner table.
You love what you love, man. My mom used to make this dish with like ramen noodles and like all these veggies like stir fried into it. Like ramen noodles, man. I'm like literally just ramen noodles and veggies and crack an egg in it. And then she used to put hot dogs in there for us. She used to like slice up like little hot dogs and put it in there. I made her make it like when she was here, and it still tasted like friggin' amazing.
Man, Well,
Yeah, I'm not hating on Emma for the dinosaur chicken nuggets.
no, we all got our things. That's what she's got. I mean, we made baked potatoes tonight. She still put ketchup on her plate. I don't know. I can't break her of these habits that she's had since she was 4 or 5. But hey, you're going to OAX again this year. You're actually going to be behind the table again. Not like last year. Last year you were part of Team Oreo.
Yep.
With Mikhail and Jason.
Yep.
You're out there on your own. You got your own 8-foot table. You're there as an artist this year. How exciting is that?
I'm really excited about it, man. I'm stoked. It's been like especially kind of getting in on the ground floor. So I'm appreciative of you and Kasra for giving me the invite and letting me join you guys for this event. Last year was a blast. We had sorry. We had the collector thing going on, but even then, I had some of my original art there, and they moved fairly well. I was really excited, man. It was unexpected, but I'm super stoked about it. So stoked that I was like kind of doing a little bit of a walk down memory lane. So I was like, when was the first time I was ever on a calf show? And I look back, and I think it was like, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a collector conversation, like number 6 or something like that. Like,
I knew it was a collector conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like June of 2021 or something like that. Yeah. And I looked at it, and I was like, man, there was like way fewer gray hairs in the beard. Way fewer.
Well, the pandemic did that to many of us, right? But but hey, at least you got in on the ground floor with the collector conversations. I mean, those were fun. So many of us got to meet one another because of those shows. You think that, right? James and Khalil and you and Jill. You name it. I think even the first time I met Larry, or the first time I met Dino, I think was on a collector conversation. So all that stuff. It's just it all really benefited every one of us and made everything a lot more fun. And we certainly passed the time a lot better because of those.
For sure, man. I mean, I know like 3 years isn't like a huge amount of time when you like in the grand scheme of things, but kind of drawing a straight line from that to watching you guys, grow the channel and then grow from that to OAX and then getting to be a part of that as an artist, was really cool. Is really cool.
It is really cool. No, man. Again, I am so happy. Yeah, I had to show that. But it gives me a lot of pleasure to just know that the CAF has played a role in so many different ways, right? I mean, just getting to help everybody get to know one another better, but to, I feel like Jason is a celebrity now. Would Jason ever be a celebrity otherwise? Now that everybody knows what he looks like, they know what he collects, they see him at a show, they're going up to him and high-fiving him. I mean, would that have ever happened, at any other time?
You're a kingmaker, man, Bill.
No, well, I would say
Jason knows his entire social life to you right now. You should be getting a cut.
I should be getting something, but instead I get a lot of grief from Jason. I feel like a lot. I don't know. It's but I don't mind it. It's I've gotten used to it after all this time. But so you're going to be at OAX.
I am.
More importantly, you're going to be taking you're going to be doing some pre-show commissions, taking small lists. I think we've got 2 of one type and 5 of another, but we might as well show. I've got some slides I can show. I'm going to go ahead and just actually turn on the commission form over on the OAX website as well. It should be on now for everybody. And
we're doing this live. Okay, gotcha.
Live. Yeah, Eranga. So that way,
heck yeah.
It always gets us all nervous. I mean, will we get an email? Will we not get an email? But anyways, let's show you 2 tiers that you were going to take for the show. The first one, and we're going to show 2 slides for this as an example. You're doing, amazingly, 18 by 24 single Strathmore board, inks and ink wash, starting at $1,000. You're willing to, that's for a single character. You're willing to add on 3 other characters at $250 per character. and even on the commission request form that we put up on the site, we basically just broke it down into 4 options to make it real easy if somebody wanted to pick 2, 3, or 4 characters for this one. So yeah, I mean that's good. And I mean, here's another image from that same level. But you've been killing it lately. Everybody's been
thanks.
enjoying your work. You know that.
Thanks, man. I gotta say, like, it was I was really trying to think of something I could do that'd be unique for me, at least, to bring to OAX. And I used to do the DPS style stuff, so putting 2 11x17s together. And while that's fine, having to tape the back, etc. But luckily, I found Strathmore makes these 18x24 sheets, and I was like, let's get this going. So a couple of these that you see here are things that I started out with, and people seem to dig them. So I'm also doing a few. I mean, we can talk about that later. But yeah, this is the one. I love working at this size, man. It's been a blast.
Well, we have a smaller size as well. I guess we went from higher to low. We could went from low to high, but the other option is on 11x17 with a single character, full figure, ink wash, and you can add up to 2 other characters onto this one for those who prefer the multi-character. And I have to ask, when I saw this, is this a 3-character piece because of the painting on the wall, or you can't?
That's a bonus, man. I'll occasionally throw in a bonus, so Sebastian Shaw gets a little appearance there. You can't draw the Hellfire Club hotness and not have Sebastian just lurking like a creep in the background there.
All right. Well, then that solves that question. So this is a 2-character option. And what was the other one? No, that's right. I think everybody saw this one recently because it was posted up on CAF. But just a great Spidey image on here as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, 11x17. You're gonna get. It's not. It's the same thing with the 18x24. It's just not. I'm not a big fan of doing. I like drawing like an environment and a character in that environment. So full backgrounds. Obviously, at my discretion, they'll vary. Like, you saw the Hellfire Club. It makes sense for the Hellfire Club. That's what you're going to get. With Spidey, a lot of the times, this is what you're going to get. If I got bored, I'll throw Spidey in the jungle and he'll be in a tree. Yeah. All
right. Well, so I knew it. I knew you were going to have some interesting options that no one would expect. But no, this is great. A lot of detail in the background on this one. Like you said, it works with that character and that pose and all that. It's awesome.
Thanks, man.
There's Chuck Arnold. I didn't know if Chuck was in the audience or not. I knew this one was his. So
yeah, Chuck. Thanks for picking that up, bud. Yeah, Chuck was. I got the notification. Obviously, this was an auction, and so when it was time, I had the piece, and then the organizers sent me the name and address of the person I had to send it to, and I saw it was Chuck. I was like, I had to put a note in there for Chuck when I shipped it off.
No, well, people pay attention to Chuck's CAF gallery, so it's always good to get a work of yours in a CAF gallery that people follow. So Chuck's a good person to have as a patron of your work.
For sure. It's always the case, man. There's a lot of these guys that have been, it's really nice because that's the trajectory, right? If I sold these and they just went into a black hole, there's no way to build on that. And it's always been kind of the generosity of people who've gotten commissions that have shared it, whether that's CAF or before CAF on sketch prices on Facebook and stuff like that. So I'm always grateful when you throw something out there, or when you do a commission and someone's like, they like it enough to share it online. That's, I guess, one thing. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to my brother. He's watching right there, Nirmal.
Oh, I just thought that was a happenstance that somebody with the same last name.
No, he's in Dubai. I don't know what time it is in Dubai, but he should be at work, I think. I don't know. But hey, man, good to see you.
He probably is at work. His bosses don't know what he's doing. So, well, I don't know what to say, man, but I'm glad that you're attending OAX, that you're going to be behind the table as an artist, not just as a guy selling some artwork. And
Yeah.
it's going to be a good time. I mean, we know it's
Thanks.
going to be a good time. I
Hey,
look forward to hanging out again.
before we wrap up, I am doing some specific OAX. Well, I'm doing a piece for the auction. That's kind of on the docket, but I'm doing a few of these 18 by 24s that I'm going to bring, and they're going to be sold exclusively at OAX. That's going to be the first place that they're going to be sold at. So, can I throw some of them up right now so you can see? Let's back up. So we got this one. It's another Spidey City Chrysler Building gargoyle thingy. This is 18 by 24. We've got 4 X ladies there. Oh god, I'm terrible at this. There you go. All right, we got Rogue, Psylocke, Storm, and Jean Grey. Oh,
Jason, I think.
you know, on your thumbnail, you had an homage I did to Adam's AOA Weapon X book. I did this one, which is a little bit more closer to those outfits, but change up the background, some of the posing a little bit, etc., etc. So here's one. That's just an example. I still got this X Universe piece that I'll be bringing with me. 27 characters right there. And what else? That's what I have done for now. But, based on kind of how much time I'll have, I'll probably do 2 or 3 more of those. And, I've been sharing them out on my social media. The Wolverine Weapon X one, I actually haven't shared it out yet. But we'll... OAX will be the first place that I'll be selling them at. Do they make portfolios? That's a great question. 1, the answer is yes, they do. 2, because of the size, and I know how people can be reluctant about or worried about kind of how do they transport that back home, I am offering shipping. So if you buy it at OAX, I don't know, shipping will be like what, $25 or whatnot, and once I get back home, I will ship those out to the buyers.
Right. I should have mentioned that when we were showing the commission options on the 18 by 24. You did note that if somebody didn't want to take it home on the plane or whatever, that you would ship them for $25 after the show.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, and you're also following the tenet that we have for OAX, in that we want everybody who's behind the table to be dropping new art. Yeah, that's we're telling that to all the dealers, all the artists. It's the reason that will bring the collectors to the show. And as long as we all kind of follow that thought, I think that we'll have an amazing show, because it'll help us far exceed our expectations on the number of attendees that show up, and it's better for everybody all around if we do that. So I appreciate you making those pieces and only making them available at OAX first.
Absolutely, man.
Start teasing them now online and say the only place you're gonna be able to get these is at OAX.
I've gotten quite a few DMs on a couple of these. The X ladies piece. I've got several requests for that, and I was like, I'm trying not to like ruin the surprise of what we're announcing here, which I should have thought of it and just like not shared it out. But a couple of people, they DM me, so I just let them know it's going to be at an event in January for people attending the event, etc. Now, if it doesn't
send them the
sell
link.
at the event,
Send them the link to the ticket page.
Yeah, there you go. And if it doesn't sell at the event, then hey, you know what? It'll be available after that. I'll open it up for online sales from there.
Oh man, well, all right. Well, we can't do a 30-minute goodbye here because I've got another segment to do, Eranga. But I'm looking forward to having you over at the show in January. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you, I see at least a couple of emails came in, so we've got a couple of commissions taken care of. I have to turn them off manually. I know you're only going to do 2 of the 18 by 24s, but I'll keep an eye on it. And worst case scenario, I'll get that thing turned off for the end of the show if that's what's been claimed. I have no idea, but we'll work it out.
Awesome, man. Yeah. We'll work it out. We're flexible. But listen, Bill, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. Thanks for having me come in there in January. I'm really excited for it.
All right, cool, man. I will. I'll see you then, and I'm sure we'll be in touch many times before then.
Yes, sir. Thanks again, Bill. Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya. All right, yeah, Eranga is going to be. Well, he's always fun. What did I called him the Maestro of Mayhem when I wrote my newsletter this morning. I don't know. It just came to me because we know he's the life of the party wherever he is. So yeah. So we have another segment now. I told you this is a busy night. So we've got 2 guests in the green room, and we're going to be talking about that big card. Well, it was the art that went on auction earlier this week, and also the whole Secret Lair, Magic the Gathering, Marvel crossover card event that they got released, I think, at noon on Monday. So let me bring in Tatiana, as everybody knows, and also someone who I don't get to see often enough, my friend Ryan Pancoast, who I have one of your paintings hanging on my wall. You can't see it because it's next to the Omar piece, but one of your Frontier fantasy pieces. It was one of my favorites. The woman in the dress with the dragon burning the field.
Yeah,
I love it. I always point that one out, and I say your name, and no comic card collector knows your name. Well, not enough comic card collectors know your name, but that's the one they look at and they see, and they're like, that one stands out on the wall.
nice. Thank you.
So it's good to see you. It's good to see Tatiana again. It's not like we haven't seen Tatiana a lot of late, but you weren't at IX this last week, so we didn't get to hang out. Where were you? Where were you? You were in Vegas, right?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I missed IX because of Vegas. Yeah, we were at MagicCon Vegas, and I just can't turn those events down because they're just very popular, and just it was the best move at the time.
Right. No, I get it. It's tough. I mean, there were too many shows going on that weekend.
Right.
It was a tough one for IX, I think.
And
but it's
some people were doing both. Like I saw, yeah, it was crazy.
I saw that. Too much for me, but yeah. But so hey, let's talk. The thing is, I should just shut up and let you guys talk about the Secret Lair project that has finally gotten the press and it's out there. I mean, I know there were teasing images at New York Comic Con a few weeks back, but now. Now the pieces are, at least some of the pieces are out there. Your piece is out there. Everybody can see the amazing cap painting on the wall behind you. I'd like to just know a little bit about the background on how the project kind of got started and your involvement with it.
Well, I mean, it was kind of I don't know. It was like winning the lottery almost when I found out that they were doing that, because for those of you who don't know. Magic the Gathering does their own Universes Beyond set, which is not cards that are set in the Magic universe, but are crossovers with other IP.
Mm-hmm.
And before this point, it was all digital art because of the licensing agreements. But for Marvel, they are allowing some artists to sell the originals. That was what was imparted to me in the email that we got in 2023, that's summer of 2023. And of course, when we got the email, everybody immediately said yes, although we were kind of sworn to secrecy at the time. So none of the artists that were working on it really knew who else was working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it really felt exclusive and it felt special. And I knew it was going to be like a big deal in the Magic universe and also in the Marvel universe, frankly. So I took the job with a high degree of seriousness and knew that I had to create something special and tried to do that.
Now, had you ever done any comic book related work before this?
This is my first official comic book art, I believe. Yeah. So it is a big deal because I grew up with Marvel Comics. Like my first introduction to artists like Julie Bell and Boris Vallejo was because of their Fleer Ultra X-Men cards or Marvel Masterpieces in 1993. And throughout, my middle school years, I collected comic books, not seriously, but I was a subscriber to Wizards Magazine or Wizard Magazine. So I liked the idea of comics, and I especially liked the art more than keeping up with like every single issue.
Right.
So to get Captain America, like I knew how important that was to the Marvel Universe, and frankly, how important it was to me, because like you always dream as a little kid of being a comic book artist, and this is or was my first shot at doing that. So it was emotional. It was emotional because I knew it was something that, like, it was kind of like making a childhood dream come true. And fortunately, without getting into specifics that I'm not allowed to talk about, it's definitely not my last piece for Marvel. So I'm happy that this project came together at all, and I'm especially happy that they allowed traditional artists to really put their whole artistic weight behind the pieces.
As are we. That's great. Did you get to pick the character, or was it more just you just got the assignment?
No, we didn't get the pick. So when the email came in that said, like, we're thinking of doing putting you with Captain America, and I was like, oh, I hope you're serious about that. Because yeah, it's kind of like it's not a lottery, but it's up to the art director's discretion. And Cassie Murphy, who was the art director, I think decided who would go on each card in the Secret Lair drop, as it's called. But we talk, so I knew that Victor Adame Minguez got Wolverine, and I didn't see it until it was released, but like we knew what we kind of like were checking in with each other to see what we were working on. So I was really happy to see the final result of what dropped.
Exactly. It was. There's a lot of excitement on our side of the collecting, wall, I guess. Just curiosity wise about what the pieces were going to be, and knowing that they were going to be traditionally done. And then for me, just being a fan of IX and the artists that exhibit there, the idea that people who I really admire were going to get to work in Marvel. I mean, you have a little bit of crossover here or there, but to have so many fresh voices getting to do stuff that I love, and I couldn't have been happier. I mean, you and Bud Cook and just like you said, Victor. I mean, Victor is just every time I see a painting by him, he blows me away, right? I mean, these are like top tier creators in your field getting the opportunity to work with characters that just have the opportunity. Who would have ever thought it would have come up? And here we are. And hopefully it's not just a one-off sort of thing here. Hopefully this is a long-term project that they have that they're going to work on.
Right. They said it was years long. And as far as I've seen, that's accurate. But I think the most special part of it was that that Marvel and Wizards actually let us work in the style that we were most comfortable in. Mm-hmm. So although Marvel, does, except for their covers, does, the line work and the ink work and all that beautiful stuff, but it's rarely translated into oil paintings, except that was a big deal in 1993 with the Marvel Masterpieces. So it was really fun that they were letting us work how we're most comfortable, because not all clients are like that. So that's when you really knew that we could all work to our full potential.
Mm-hmm. I made a slide so everybody can get a better look at that artwork. But I did throw you in there with the cat mask on. So do you? Well, we know. I mean, you present your artworks on social media all the time with you kind of posing. Do you use yourself for a life model?
Well, this one, like I did. It wasn't this photograph. And people are always asking, when you do your funny pictures, is that like the reference for your painting? And no, the photograph itself is not the reference, because like that happens after the fact. I usually dress up in something funny. I'm not necessarily making fun of the artwork. I'm more making fun of myself and giving giving people something to laugh at when I release the art. It just gives a little bit more interest, and I think people enjoy it. So
we do.
But yes, for the painting, the one part of it was me in that pose. Although, like, I can't pull off Captain America at all. But I also bought one of those 12-inch posable Captain America dolls that's super realistic, that I also posed in that position and kind of merged the two pieces of reference to create the final painting.
Well, it came out fantastic. What's the overall dimensions on the piece?
The piece is 24 inches wide by 30 inches tall. and it's on stretched canvas, which is about 3/4 of an inch thick, where the stretcher bars are, and so it's stretched over bars, and it's on stretched canvas, and a couple layers of varnish to protect it.
Well, it came out fantastic, and we put a link in the chat earlier for your auction, and I know there's a few other auctions going on right now, but and we'll be able to paste all the links in there. But the one that we posted already is for Ryan's, and I forget where it's at, but there's a lot of people interested in it. When does the auction end?
The auction ends on Sunday, I think 11 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I'm very happy with the amount of interest that the auction has generated, and happy where things are going, and very thankful that people have such a positive reaction to it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I mean, there was no way that we weren't going to get excited about it, and I'm sure it's not just the comic art collectors. I'm sure that folks in the Magic the Gathering world, that collect art, have to be equally excited. Just something new, and again with the creators that they've admired through Magic the Gathering for years too. So yeah, no, this is just a great opportunity for anybody who's an art collector to pick up a piece of artwork that they normally wouldn't get. And for us, we're generally 95% of my collection is pen and ink. I don't have too many painted pieces. I mean, yours, I got a Bob Eggleton, a Daryl Sweet, and a Ryan Pancoast. That's it. So it's rare. It's a rare treat to get something that isn't what we're used to getting. So this is great for everybody.
Yeah, it's a treat.
The
for me
auction's
too,
currently at 13. Is where it is right now.
Wow, it's great. Yeah. I don't think that's where it's going to end, though.
No, it will. There will be many more bids.
Yeah, I don't expect that's where it's going to stop, based on the number of private bids that my agent Mike has gotten. But I wouldn't know that because Mike doesn't keep me informed as to who specifically is voting.
Right.
I think I prefer it that way, just so that I stay out of it as much as I can.
I get it. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Mike's a good guy, though. He's very, very sharp. So, yeah. I actually met him once before, but I got to talk with him a little bit at IX. We had a little roundtable discussion about this, this project, and potentially having more opportunities for me to do things with you and other creators in Magic the Gathering, which I've always wanted to do, but just didn't know how I'd work it in. But now we have a reason to do it.
Yeah, now we're all official Marvel artists, like exactly. with the copyright and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So is it okay if I show the other pieces that are out there?
Yeah, go for it.
I know that Bud was potentially going to be able to make it, but he isn't. But here's another piece that's up at auction right now, and I've got the link. I can throw that one in the chat for him right there. But just great work. And again, this I'm not sure the dimensions on this, but it's probably like 16 by 18, something like that.
Yeah, 16 by 20 probably. Yeah, something in that range.
And all of the auctions in the art market are going to have size, medium, all those other details as well.
Right.
Yeah, that was just a guess.
Yeah, no. And do all of these end on Sunday that haven't ended already?
None of them have ended yet. I believe they all end on Sunday, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me look.
I believe Victor's ends on Monday.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. What was the next one? Oh, the Wolverine.
Yeah, there's Victor.
Yeah, well, he's having a good time with his photograph too.
Yeah, he's taking a page out of my book. I think he doesn't normally do that, but I think this is a special event.
Well, he had to be really thrilled to get Wolverine. I mean, it's kind of like, to me, that would have been like the perfect character to get for him. I mean, it fits really well. Yeah,
I was really happy with Captain America, but like Wolverine would have been like top tier because I'm an X-Men guy.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Ryan, because the X-Men is my book as well. So
yeah.
If only Victor would have had some claws here. Now that would have made this picture.
Yeah, I would have had like knives in my fist or something like that.
Yeah, not just the fake cigar and a brown leather jacket.
I've joked with Ryan before that he should make a calendar of those photos. They're so good.
Yeah, well, people would buy that, Ryan. I guarantee it. I saw this one earlier is doing rather well. I forget where it was, around $20,000, I think.
It's at 21.5 now, and everything either ends Sunday or Monday.
All right, and the link I'm putting in the chat right now is for this one right here, the Storm piece.
I also wanted to add for the Storm piece for Magali, she's one of the most popular magic artists out there and has been working towards doing traditional for a while because she's been digital, and this is her first fully painted traditional magic piece, so that's also a big deal.
Oh, interesting. So now, did you have the option to work digitally, Ryan? I mean, I know that I don't.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they would allow that. They just made a big deal about like, we're trying this out, you know, and you've been selected to, you know, pilot this program kind of thing. But I'm sure, like, if I said I wanted to work digitally, they would have let me. But I don't. So.
No, of course not. But I think that's interesting for her that she typically works digitally and chose not to with this.
Well, I think she recognized the you know, the opportunity as well. You know, that this is an opportunity to really, you know, put everything behind it.
Right. I remember when I saw her listing, she had some video clips and things showing her, doing through some of the painting processes and whatnot on it. So yeah, I would encourage everybody who's watching the show tonight to check out all the auctions, just because it's not just, you're going to learn a little bit about the process at the end of the day too. I mean, that's fun. And I do have actually have a short video clip I can show at the end of everything here that shows one of the artists actually doing some of the painting on it or talking about their technique. But let's see here. What was the next one? Oh, Tyler's piece here.
Mm-hmm.
So we had some questions in the chat about, you know, other characters being in this, and I just wanted to share a little bit. So this is a secret lair. So basically what it is, it's a very limited set. It was released this Monday. It was an online. There's a whole, if you look at it online, not everybody was happy about that release. So it's a very limited release. So it's only I think 25 cards. So it's not like a regular Magic set. But the Spider-Man set that's coming out, I believe probably Q3 next year or so. It's to be announced for the date, but that'll be more. So this is just kind of the beginning. But it's one hell of a beginning. I mean, just X-Men's my thing too, and I'm just so excited. And you know, like Ryan said, having everyone be able to paint in their style and do the way they wanted to do it is really is what makes it so special.
Exactly. And this is a piece by Chris Ron, and another Cap piece with a Black Widow and Falcon in the background. So how much art direction did you get, Ryan? I mean, did they say Cap in front of a fireball throwing his shield? I mean,
yeah, it was a fiery battlefield, Cap throwing his shield, and there's and that was kind of, you know, throwing his shield at the viewer with a fiery battlefield behind him. It was kind of like, it was a pretty standard Magic art prompt. I gave them a ton of different Cap throwing his shield poses, and they decided to go with this one. I also gave them one that I kind of wanted to do just for my own benefit, with like the hero pose kind of thing. But because of the mechanics of the card, what the card does in the game, they really wanted Cap throwing his shield. But I did give them plenty of options as to the specific pose that he was going to strike.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never, I don't know much about how Magic typically art directs when they're giving you a direction on a card, but usually, I guess that makes sense, right? Because the card usually has a specific use, so they want the art to really reflect that.
Yeah, and over the years, I've really developed a good relationship with the ADs there, and fortunately, they developed a certain level of trust. So the feedback from the art directors is never too nitpicky, and I was worried that Marvel might change that, but as I've experienced so far, they haven't actually.
That's nice. Now this one here, this one did sell, right? This was the Jake Marines that met, like, I guess you had to buy it now figure that he was set on.
Yep, that one sold for Buy It Now right after it went up for 15,000.
It's amazing.
If that's not clear. Sorry. I should say
Yeah,
the rest of it.
not
15,000 US
15,000.
dollars.
And
But
he
yeah,
must
that's-
be using like micro brushes because that's a lot of detail for a small piece.
Yeah, I thought this piece was going to be bigger, and then when I
Yeah.
saw the photo with Jake, I was surprised. That's got to be really cool to look at up close.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one we have the video clip on. He said that he worked in acrylic on that one, whereas I guess he's more of an oils guy. But the acrylic probably gave him a little, I don't know, maybe it allowed him to work a little bit smaller. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I usually like to work big just because I'm not really fiddly with details. I kind of like to use brush texture and like more expressive brush strokes to kind of express the details rather than paint them like one detail after another.
Mhm.
But it just depends on how we all work, and that's I'll come back to just that thing. It's just it's so special that we're all able to work in the way we're most comfortable working.
No, that makes sense. So I'm excited to see what's coming next. I mean, it's great to hear, Ryan, that you're going to be doing at least another card
Yeah,
event.
yeah. The most I can say is that my future with the Marvel crossover doesn't end here. And I know they announced the Spider-Man set, so I'm excited to see that when it comes out.
Well, as are we. So yeah, well, I'm glad you had time to come on here. Maybe one of these days I'll have you on for an interview and we can show off more of your work, because I know that Tatiana was linking some people to see some of your other pieces. But I'd love to do an interview and just give everybody a good overview of some of the work that you've done, the personal work, the professional work, because you've done some just amazing things. And anybody who does like world building, I always really admire those. It's not for every creator out there, but you've done an amazing job, with the Frontier work, and
Thank you.
I've always admired that. It's fun, and those are for whatever reason, for me, a lot of the times those pieces speak more to me than getting like a published piece that is for a major IP or something. I like seeing what a creator really wants to do for themselves, and you've just done amazing work. And
thank you, Bill.
No, and anyway, so there you go. So Tatiana, did you have anything to add for with regards to what we've got going on here? I mean, I know you've talked with Mike a bit more than I have.
Yeah, I mean, first I wanted to thank Ryan. This was a very last minute. Hey, do you have time tonight to jump on? So thank you so much for making the time. I know you have a lot going on, so thank you for that.
Well, my kids are in bed, so it's okay.
Yeah, good timing then, huh? Yeah, I just, I would encourage everyone all of the auctions are exclusively in the MTG Art Market on Facebook. You do have to be a member of that group in order to bid. It is a private group since there are a lot of auctions and things held in there. So please join the group if you're not in there already. And yeah, watch the auctions, share with your friends that they're there, and just get excited for more of this. Wizards of the Coast and Magic has been slowly branching out into other IPs the last few years, and it's really starting to get fans excited and to see traditionals with this set, like Ryan mentioned, and I think we're just going to be seeing more of this because Wizards announced very recently that these it's called Universes Beyond, meaning it's outside of kind of the normal story and characters in Magic, that these sets are going to be legal to play standard sets, which they typically haven't been before. So basically what that means is these cards can be played in more places than they have been historically. So Wizards is really grabbing hold of this, and I think we're going to see more and more of it. And I really hope moving forward that we see more traditional art for some of the other IPs as well. But for right now, I mean, this is just the most exciting thing ever. I know, Ryan, you said as a kid being a fan and the excitement of this. I'll say as a fan of Magic and comics, to be able to see those two worlds collide from a collector and fan perspective is incredibly exciting to me too. So to see you know, I'm a big fan of your work, as you know, and to see your take on such a beloved character as Captain America is incredibly exciting. So I can't wait to see more. And I just wish you the best on the auction. I know there's a lot of really excited people. So I know the auction's gonna go really well.
Thank you, Tatiana.
All right. Well, I appreciate you both taking time tonight to hang out with me on this. I'm sure this won't be the last time that we get to talk more about the Magic the Gathering and Marvel worlds colliding like this. But it's an event. We don't get to have too many events in the original art collecting hobby, and this certainly has been one of them. And it's been a lot of fun to see, and I'm glad there's as much interest in the art as there has been.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you both have a wonderful evening. And Ryan, don't be a stranger. I'm going to have you back on the show sometime.
Sounds great.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks.
All right. No, Ryan's work is amazing. Honestly, I don't know how many pieces of his are up on CAF, but if you go over there and do a search, you should definitely just familiarize yourself with his work. He's it's like in my top 10 of current illustrators out there. And again, he's amazingly talented. He has I'll break out one of his books next week and show you. He's amazing with dry brush technique as well, and I've got a whole book of his work that he's done. He's amazing. But I do have one video kind of related to all this. When I got the material for this artwork, there was a short video from Jake Murray, the Black Panther piece with him fighting Claw. And I just thought it was interesting to see the artist's workspace and have them talk a little bit about the piece. So I didn't take all the video clips that I got, but I took a few of them and kind of stitched them together. So here, I'll play this for you, and I'll be back in about 4 minutes.
Hi, I'm Jake Murray. I'm an illustrator and Magic the Gathering artist, and this is my piece, Heroic Intervention, for Magic's Black Panther Secret Lair drop coming in 2025. The piece was revealed last month at New York Comic Con, and it's part of Magic's multi-set collaboration with the Heroes of Marvel. And I am just super excited to be able to finally show it to you guys, and would love to share a little bit more in depth about the piece and some of the process behind it. So the brief I was given for this piece called for King T'Challa as Black Panther to be intervening on behalf of his royal guard there in the background in a fight against the villain known as Claw, somewhere in the Kingdom of Wakanda. And as far as like superhero themed assignments go, this is really everything that I could have ever asked for. We've got multiple sort of larger than life figures in action, interacting with each other. Great opportunity to show some like blast effects and a setting that lends itself well to multi-point perspective. So this being just such a dream assignment, I really wanted to swing for the fences and do something that a young Jake Murray would be impressed by as a kid looking at superhero comic book panels. I'm primarily an oil painter, but for this piece in particular, I decided to go all in on acrylic. And we can come over here and see my rainbow wall of acrylic tubes. And you can see that primarily I tend to use golden acrylics, especially their line of open acrylics, which are slower drying than normal acrylics and allow for more blending of paint on the surface, similar to oils, although they are still very fast drying compared to oils. And the colors I used primarily for this piece would be like cadmium red light, a little cadmium yellow light, viridian, dioxazine purple, Van Dyke brown, burnt umber, and maybe a little bit of sap green. But I think that's pretty much it. I really kept the colors limited to the reds, greens, and purples. You can see most of the green, of course, happening in the background there, and that helps to separate our characters who are mostly lit by the red light below here. It helps to separate them off the background and really gives some depth and dimension to the scene. One of the things I like to use in my traditional painting work as well is this Liquitex modeling paste. And what I do is After I have established a line drawing on the plain white surface, and I know where everything is going to be, I can pick certain spots, in this case, like the pavement where it's breaking up here and being all smashed to pieces, and I will take a palette knife and apply the modeling paste in just these thick applications here. You can kind of see the glare off of it. Just anywhere in the piece that I want to add some extra physical dimensionality to it. You can pretty much see the rest of this piece is fairly smooth and only textured by the surface of the board. But then we get down into here and it gets super chunky, and it gives the impression of a lot of thick paint once you've painted on top of it. And it also just really helps convey this extra sense of dimensionality in the physical piece, where now these rocks really just feel like they're coming out at you compared to the figures behind them. And I was so pleased with how this worked in this piece. It's not something that you are really able to see when it's printed and published, but in person, it's pretty awesome.
Indeed it is. So a little insight into some of at least that one piece. But I do know that if you check out some of the auctions that are posted, you will see other videos and video clips of the artists talking about the piece that they worked on. So good stuff. Great stuff for our hobby and for those fans of Magic the Gathering. So what do we got next? I got ComicArt Live. We're an hour and a half into it. I finally talked about ComicArt Live. We're less than 10 days away. Shoot, I think we're less than 9 days away from our 10th ComicArt Live. So for those of you who are procrastinators, as you know, you don't want to delay too much longer if you're going to be setting up a booth. We have we have hard deadlines for setting up your Saturday art drop and your Sunday art drop. So you don't want to delay. You want to make sure you get in there and get your art posted, and or you're going to regret it. I think right now we have about 1,000 pieces added to over 100 booths so far. I know we've got I think a couple new artists that are using the exhibition space this time around, and I know we've had at least a dozen new collectors who've asked for booths as well. So always good to have an influx of new sellers. Always invigorates everybody's attention, at least for the first few hours of the show on Saturday. But Stingray got his booth started. That's good to see. I'll just kind of remind everybody how to get the booth started. If you're going to sell, if you want to have any sale opportunities during the show, just go over to CAF, go over to Manage Your Galleries, and right there at the top, look at that. See it? 8 days, 14 hours. We will be opening the doors to ComicArt Live. So that's Saturday at 1 p.m. for you non-premium people. And look, I haven't started the sketchbook yet. Nobody's yelled at me. All right, well, except James should be yelling at me. I need to get that turned on. It's all what date is it? The 7th. Man, oh man, I'm slacking around here apparently. But so there you have that. What the thing is, so we have 2 art drops. We have that 1 p.m. on Saturday, right? It's really 11 a.m. for premium members, because premium members get the early showing of the artwork that's available. But the booth itself, actually, for your Saturday art drop, closes at 10 a.m. on Saturday. So when you're over there setting up your booth, you can see you have 2 tabs at the bottom. It defaults to the Saturday art drop. You've got, and look, I'm behind. I only got 1 piece added, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So you can add up to 24 pieces on Saturday, 24 pieces on Sunday. I don't know what that is. It's one of Maureen's tests. Looks like a piece of art that Emma did. I don't know. But that's kind of how it works. You post your Saturday artwork over here. You post your Sunday artwork over here. 24 pieces for each. So you can have a total of 48 artworks drop over the weekend. This is the first 24 on Saturday drop at 11 a.m. for premium members on Saturday, and then 11 a.m. on Sunday. It drops, and it's available to everybody, including non-premium members, because of course the halls never close from the time that they open until we close the show at 10 p.m. on Sunday evening. So that's how you do it. Just add your pieces. It's all relatively, it's very reminiscent of how to add artwork to your CAF gallery. Now, you can't move artwork from your CAF gallery into the booth when the show is over. If there's anything you want to move from your booth back to your CAF gallery, we do allow that. it's all to kind of encourage people to post new artwork for sale versus just recycling whatever they have in their current classifieds. We'd rather people not re-show everything from their CAF classifieds during ComicArt Live. I'm not going to stop them, but we're not going to make it easy for them to just kind of recycle things like that. Yeah. Is that a Redcoat page? Yes, it is. I was just going to talk about that, Chuck. I guess I get to be the one to let you know that, that yes, we're going to be offering Redcoat artwork for ComicArt Live. Brian talked to me a couple weeks ago, and he's ready to let go of some pages. Nothing from issue 1, but he's got some covers that we're going to be releasing, as well as some interiors. No complete books or anything like that, but certain parts of the storyline that I think are really really cool. So I think people are going to be excited to get at least an opportunity to pick up some Redcoat pages. I think the total might be around like 32 that he's offering. But yeah, I've been waiting for Redcoat as well. And I can show you a couple of the scans that I've got. I'm not going to show you everything, but here, let me share a screen this way. But it's really great stuff. Andrew Curry is doing the inking on the interior pages and just doing a fantastic job. Brian's doing the inking, the penciling and the inking on all the covers. So what we got here? So this is the cover to issue 2 will be available. And I mean, it's freaking amazing. And I don't have it here, just so everybody knows the way we worked out. He was going to bring it to New York, and then he decided I think he was still on the fence when he was coming to New York, and after New York, he was like, I should have brought the art. So what we're going to do is, this may only be offered during ComicArt Live, so just for that weekend. So after that, I can't say that those pieces will be made available, in my CAF classifieds or something like that. This might be, at least a one-time thing, and he'll revisit it somewhere down the road. Because if everybody remembers from the interviews we did with Brian, first he didn't want to sell any of it, but now I don't know, whatever. I have no idea what his reasons are, but I guess we can all feel good about the fact that at least he's going to let a few of those go. So this is like the cover to issue 3, and I mean, the work it's just fantastic. I mean, Brian's really putting a lot of effort into this, and I think it shows how much he really cares about what he and Jeff are doing. This is a weird one if you like sharks, I guess. Look at this, just an amazing Civil War inspired cover there. So this is a wraparound cover to issue 8, and then there'll be some interior pages, as well. But just all really, really nice work. And so what'll happen is anything that sells during the weekend of ComicArt Live, Brian will ship out to me, and then I will ship out to all the people who get a piece. The series has been great, Carl. I completely agree with you. I think it's really fun. And I've read through it twice now, just because I find it enjoyable. It made me want to go. I watched the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie again last night, because when I'm reading through this, I just kind of get that same fun, that same adventure feel to what Redcoat has done, and it's great. I'm gonna pick up the page. I haven't decided which one, but yeah, I mean, it's just great work. So there you have it. That's your scoop. I'll have that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other sellers that will be promoting during ComicArt Live. I just get to promote myself first. But I would remind everybody that we do send out mailings during the weekend of ComicArt Live for exhibitors, just promoting what you have in your booth. If you're lowering your prices on Saturday evening or Sunday from the art that you dropped on Saturday, I want everybody to send me their announcements for that. So if you're an exhibitor and you're doing special things, you're doing a special art drop for Saturday, I'll be sending out mailings to the exhibitors, but I want to remind everybody that take advantage of the opportunity that we'll present to you to send out direct mailings to people about what you're dropping in your booth. So it's just another avenue to help promote any of the art sales that you're going to be having that weekend. So sorry. Brian is doing incredible work on the series. Antoine, yeah, you should definitely read it. I think it's fun. I mean, and the little kid in there, that's Albert Einstein. I mean, they're taking a lot of liberties with historical characters, but it's fun. and I've always been a history buff, so they're just rolling him through, Simon Pure through American history, and it's been great so far. Benedict Arnold, main villain, all just fantastic stuff. So can't talk about it enough. But yeah, what do we got? We said 8.5 days to get your Saturday art drop done. Don't delay, do it. You'll have another 24 hours beyond that to get your Sunday art drop in place. Beyond that, mystery sketches, they're continuing to roll in. I'm getting people who are buying multiples now. So I've had about the last 24 hours, I think I've had about 8 or 9 people who bought 2 or more at a pass. So that's good. I don't know where we're at with our numbers yet, but we still have, we're going to sell those through next Saturday. But so don't delay on those either. We'd like to keep the artists busy. I sent out, GD has a lot of people who are working on this one. I think around 28 artists. So I sent him a pre-list. I actually sent all the reps a pre-list just so that they know what's coming and that they can kind of get their artists in here. And for those artists who maybe are a little bit slower, they can get a little head start on stuff. But I've told them they are not allowed to share anything socially. So if anybody gets started before the weekend, they're not allowed to share any of it until the weekend of ComicArt Live. And of course, on Friday before ComicArt Live, so we will have our usual hangout with several of the artists who will be working on the mystery sketches, and it's always a good time. Jiggy's team is going to be there. I've invited any of the other reps to let their artists know that we'd love to have them tune in as well and hang out and draw. So we'll see if I can get anybody else to come out. Is it too late to get a Mannix, Marcus? I don't know. You never know. Mannix he typically only does 2, right? So the chances are slim when you have more than 200 mystery sketches getting sold. You have less than a 1% chance of getting a Mannix. But hey, stranger things have happened. I mean, what did Maureen got lucky once and got one of the Mannix ones? What did she get? I think it was something for Ashton. I can't remember what it was. Jack Skellington. I think that might have been the one. But yeah, I've gotten, we usually buy about 5 every time. I've gotten everybody from Ron Wilson to I got a Miguel Mercado piece once. But I've always been happy with them. Anyway, so that's where we're at with that. But expect a lot more PR coming out over the next 8 to 10 days. I guarantee I've got a couple emails in the queue for tomorrow. Reminders on mystery sketches and booth setup and all of that. So, and then reminders to premium members to be ready at 11 a.m. on Saturday to get your 2 hours of early access to the show. So I know it's that time of year when you get a few extra emails than you're used to, but to me, it's all for a good cause to make sure people are aware of all the stuff that's going on. When is the last day to order mystery sketches? Stingray, we're going to take them through Saturday the 16th. So probably around 9 p.m. I'll end up cutting that list off. But yeah, you basically got through that because we used to stop it before the show on Friday, when we had everybody on drawing. But the funny thing was that after people got to see what the artists were actually doing for $200 on Friday evening, we'd have so many people asking about buying a mystery sketch. And the first couple times I was like, sorry, we've already turned it off. You're out of luck. You should have thought about it beforehand. But of course, we didn't know how popular it was going to get. But since, there have been so many people coming to us after the Friday show, I've decided, the last couple times we let sales run into Saturday. Maybe, 6 to 9 o'clock, it will be cut off. Ian wants to know, can I pick up at OAX so I can count on it as an OAX purchase? Hey, you can. Depends on, which artists you have. I'm quite confident that some people will tell me to bring their mystery sketch to OAX. I'm cool with that. I don't mind. Sorry, I'm getting it. Whenever Maureen sends me a Skype, I have to read it. You never know. But at any rate, so there's that. And I will be sending out a mailing on Monday. It's OAX related. I should kind of just shift gears a little bit there. Just kind of reminding people about some of the pre-con stuff. Obviously, Eranga's information will be in there. But I can also let everybody know who's going to OAX that Adam Kubert wants to try that Universal get-together again. So I'm going to have information for everybody on Monday related to that. It's one of those things that we've got to hit a certain number for it to make it possible, and that is where Adam and I believe we need to have about 10 people along with Adam to do a VIP tour of Universal. It's probably going to be something that's like 8 to 3 or potentially 8 to 4, where you get front of line access to all the rides. But as you know, Adam did all the artwork in Islands of Adventure. So the idea was that you pretty much get to do whatever you want in the park as a group with Adam, and the whole kind of event would end in Islands of Adventure, where I mean, trust me, I'm gonna if it happens, I know I won't be able to attend, but I've got an annual pass. I'm gonna go over there because when it's over, Adam will walk you around, show off the artwork, talk about it. You'll be able to get selfies in front of Wolverine or the Thing, Hulk, MODOK, because he's there too. Yeah, I think that's totally cool, and I mean, that would be a keepsake for me to get a picture of me with Adam next to one of his stuff, his works there. So yes, VIP at Universal. Yeah, they feed you too. You're right. They do breakfast and lunch. They might do dinner, but I know it's definitely breakfast and lunch. So you get fed and front of line access to everything. They eat behind the scenes in some stuff. But the cool thing is literally, in your group, they'll take you right to the front of the line of every ride inside of the park. I mean, even their express passes aren't anything as good as that. I mean, you'll literally be able to ride everything in a like an 8-hour window. So I'll have more information. We're finalizing some of that stuff with Adam right now, but on Monday, I'm sure I'll have it all ironed out. Again, it's going to be a Friday morning thing. It would be, I'm pretty confident, an 8 a.m. start. It might be a 9 a.m., but it should get you done right before the VIP reception happens back at the hotel. So plenty of time to get back, clean up if you want. If you're not going to the VIP thing, and of course we'd rather you were, I know that the VIP admittance that you get gives you like unlimited fast pass after the VIP thing is over. So if you weren't coming to our VIP in the evening, you could literally just hang out at Universal and keep riding it, almost front of line rides for the rest of the night there too. So yeah. Let's see, what is that? The normal Marvel fan said, "Is like done. VIP was awesome. Went into the Beatles room above Hardin." Yeah, I've heard about that. Haven't done it yet. Adam does not hand feed you, Dave. But all I can tell you is Adam is very excited about it. He hopes it works out because he really wanted to do this last year and we got too late of a start. But now that we have a little less than 3 months out, I was able to call Universal, get the scoop on everything. We just have to kind of figure out what the exact pricing is that we need based on the number of people who are going and all that. So that's why we need a few more days to iron it out. I don't think I'll be doing a show with Adam to announce it, but I should. Maybe I'll get him to record something that he can play for us. All right, so there you go. Next up, schedule. Man, see this? I knew this show was going to run long today, but let's talk about the schedule real quick because it's filled it out a bit more. So I can tell you that we've got a couple previews next week. I've got Joe Lensner on Saturday. If I could, I'd be showing you what Joe is bringing, but I have not gotten it yet from Joe. So, and he always sends me scans first, and I get the art mailed to me the week after the show because he likes to only send me what sells. But I haven't even got the scans yet. I'll probably have them tomorrow. I basically said I needed them in the morning. So hopefully Joe delivers. I know he will. So I'll have that in hand, and I'll hopefully have it in time before I do a promo email for the show. But and if I do, I'll put that art in the mailing. But that'll be a 2 p.m. show on Saturday. Then what are the other main things? The Ed McGuinness panel for Hero during ComicArt Live is going to be on Saturday at 2 p.m. Got the next ComicArt sale at 9 p.m. like we always do. I've got, instead of a regular Dueling Dealers episode on the 20th, Chuck Costas and Mike Vosberg will be joining me, and we will be doing a Vosberg art drop. I know there's going to be some groups of pieces as lots, and it's all going to be published artwork from his career. I think we're going to have like 30 lots or so, but all looks good. Some covers, and some splash pages, a few title pages. So I don't know, I guess Mike has been holding on to some stuff for a long time and is finally deciding to let it go, and Chuck is going to be on with me, and we'll see what we can sell. And I've got Tariq, we rescheduled for the 3rd. And then I've got Jordan and Matt doing a pseudo amateur match. That's on a Saturday. I think I told you last week it was going to be at 9, but it's actually going to be at 2. Then I've got Dexter Vines on the 14th, and then into the first of the year, I'll have artists Aaron Campbell and Scott Hepburn. That'll be the last Saturday art show that we do before OAX. So those guys are with that new outfit that can't remember who started that, but kind of after the fallout from Cadence, there was another art rep group that started up, and Aaron Campbell and Scott Hepburn are from that. So they'll both be bringing like 8 to 10 pieces each. We've seen Scott in the chat a few times of late, and I look forward to meeting both of them and hanging out with them. And I should point out, I don't know how Alfredo is not on the 10th. He's on the 17th. That's my mistake. Kin Wong on the 10th. Alfredo's on the 17th. As everybody knows, Alfredo was literally the first interview I ever did. I forget what was going on, but like maybe I was doing a CAF update and I only had 30 minutes of material, and people still wanted to hang out. Alfredo volunteered to come on and do an interview with me, and we ended up BSing for like a half hour. So we were emailing the other day, and I asked him if he'd come on, kind of we can revisit that first interview and talk a little bit more than 30 minutes. But yeah, good stuff there. So other than that, okay, I guess I can do the Page I Love segment now and then get things rolling. But what's that? I'm sorry, reading through the chat. I'm missing everything. I'm going to catch up on the chat while I do this Page I Love segment. This one's with Chad Hardin. And ironically, well, I'll let you see, but he and Daniel Warren Johnson clearly have something in common with an artwork that was very influential. Now, this is an artist that we've talked about before, though. Kevin Sharp, of course, is the interviewer in this, and the artist in question that we're going to be talking about is Art Adams.
Welcome to A Page I Love. This is Kevin Sharp. Today I'm joined by artist Chad Hardin, who has a new art book that will be soon available. Chad, welcome to ComicArt Live. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. Appreciate it so much. I'm sorry.
Yes, as a behind the scenes note to viewers, we had some adventures getting to this point.
Oh my heck!
But it doesn't matter how it happened; it matters that it happened, and here we are.
There we go.
This will be the third appearance on A Page I Love by the artist who you've chosen.
Okay.
So please tell the viewers what comic we're talking about today.
Okay, so we're talking about Appleseed Book 2, Volume 1, and it was actually a cover done by Arthur Adams. It was X-Men Annual 10 that I picked up. I saw his artwork, and I was like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And he really was like the first comic artist that I was like, okay, anything he does, I'm going to buy, right? And so not much later, after X-Men Annual 10, he does the cover for Studio Podius's Appleseed, which back in the day, I mean, this is how we're going to date ourselves here. How old we are.
We're going back to 1989, I believe, for this cover.
You guys, like, this is older than some of your grandparents here, okay? But yeah, I saw his artwork, and I cracked open the books. And one of my biggest pet peeves about any book is that you usually have this great cover art, and then you open it up, and it's a different artist. I remember opening up the book, and I'd be like, oh, this isn't Arthur Adams. Because on the inside, it's Masamune Shirow. It's not Arthur Adams. Arthur just did the cover. But like I said, I sought out the book because of his cover, because I was buying anything that had Arthur Adams on it. And then I opened it up, and it like introduced me to a whole other world of manga. So not only was it like a book that had my favorite artist on the cover, it was also like my gateway to like an entire region's the way they do sequential art. Given its popularity today, I'd like to think I sort of called the shot a little bit. But yeah, it was a huge comic book in my mind.
So as an artist like yourself, who's known for your cover work, what works for you about this cover? Because some might glance at it and go, it's a classic characters posed, kind of a poster cover.
I think it's sort of classic now, but I don't think it was back then. I mean, you got to remember how groundbreaking Arthur's art was. Every artist you have now, every artist that's doing covers, they're like me. That's who they grew up on. And so you're seeing a lot of it now. But back then, it was really something special. I mean, on the cover you had Doonan, who is the American up front with the submachine gun, and then you had Bryos in the background. Bryos was almost 100% cyborg. The closest thing we had to that in American comics was probably RoboCop, or even in an American pop culture was RoboCop. And if you look at RoboCop and you look at Bryos looks almost like a giant metal rabbit, because he had those big long antennae or whatever those things were on his head, you know. And anyway, it was so visually distinct. I was like, okay, I have to check this out.
If this was on the stand today as a modern cover, do you think this works?
I do. I do. Matter of fact, I think if anyone at Dark Horse is listening, you need to basically relaunch that whole line. It's strange what holds up today and what doesn't. I mean, there might be a few things that are dated, but I would say everything else is still, these are still sci-fi things that we look into the future, because both of those, Appleseed and Ghost in the Shell, take place after World War III, and it's sort of a cyberpunk future. So I think that not only does the artwork still stand up, I think the stories still stand up. One of the things I also like about the cover, it was watercolored. So it's traditionally colored. That none of, you got to remember, like, this is before desktop publishing. This is before Photoshop. Everything about that cover was like the real deal. I think it would grab people today.
Standard question here for everybody. I'm going to assume you don't own the original of this cover, but
No.
Do you own any Art Adams original art?
I do have sketches from Art. I think the fanciest thing I own from Arthur is like a tiny remark head sketch on one of his sketchbooks. His artwork is so awesome that he can charge astronomical prices for it, and I'm on the wrong end of that deal. You know how they tell you to buy low and sell high? It's just going to keep going higher with Arthur from here on out. So unfortunately, no.
On that sad note, please tell the viewers about your new art book and when they might be able to find this and where the best place is to find your work overall.
Okay, so I am excited to talk about this. We launched the Art of Chad Hardin Volume 4 Kickstarter on Zoop back at the beginning of summer. We have had problem after problem with printing. The book is finally being printed. As soon as we're done with fulfillment on that campaign, we will open it up for sale on hardincomics.com. So anybody, even if you didn't back the campaign, soon you will be able to go to hardincomics.com. Buy any of the arts of Chad Hardin's Volume 1 through 3 or this new one.
Well, Chad, thank you again for the time. We got it done.
We did.
Yes, they did. So I'll get that up on the channel sometime later this weekend. But thank you, Kevin Sharp, as always. Again, we still have a couple more in the can, so he can keep making them, and we'll keep playing. So I see Mr. Snork in the green room, ready to go. So I'll bring him in here, and we'll open up some packages. I got two packages in the mail.
You got 2 packages. That means you have 3 packages in that house.
Yes, indeed. So how you been, man?
Good. You?
Not too bad. I got no beer in the house. I'm gonna have to drink bourbon tonight.
My God.
I know. Isn't that sad?
It's like a stranded man on a desert island.
I'm down to like my last 4 cans of Zevia. I have not been able to go out and do any grocery shopping in like 2 weeks. I'm telling you, it's been crazy around here. I mean, there's just so many things happening that I don't have time to get out. I got to get out.
Oh, you got to get out.
So what do we got? First thing, I have no idea. This is it says DFI on it, and I know it's from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. So I know that's Nick Barucci's Dynamic Forces Inc. Probably DFI. I didn't buy anything from DFI yet, so I have no idea what's in here. Let's see. The packets look with it though. It's almost like I bought something. Okay, well, it's double pack. All right. See, I know all right, it was triple packed. I was going to be upset. What do we got here? All right, I don't recognize the signature on this, but it's a Cyclops. I won't take it out of the bag.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Thank you, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I bet it's because nobody would buy it during a show on Friday, so he had to send it to me. What does it say? I mean, that's Nick Barucci's signature on there, but it does. It's on a Deadpool #1 cover. Oh, signed and remarked by Tony Scott. Okay, awesome. Well,
You're not decrying Cyclops, are you?
No, I was just.
Oh my God.
No, I was. You're right. I should never have said that.
Right is left, up is down.
All right, so that's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Barucci, for that. I sincerely appreciate it. Now the next piece is something I got from Felix. I think I told everybody last week I finally ordered something from one of Felix's art drops. So I did so last week, and I did give all of you at least, I don't know how many hours, at least 6 hours to pick it up yourselves. And since you didn't, I did it. I'd like to give everybody ample time, because I figure at some point, I'd have the chance to get something myself. But let's see.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of this.
Yeah, I actually picked something up from Tertulio last night too, which I won't tell anybody what it is, but I'll show everybody after it comes in next week. So
I missed the Tertulio show because, frankly, it was self-preservation, because he brings the heat on those shows.
He does. I mean,
man,
and we didn't really have a great sales show last night. It was I thought we would have done a whole lot better. It was because he had great stuff. Anthony actually lowered his prices to places I thought Anthony would never go. And he had 4 Simone Bianchi prelims, and again, they were like just with the figure cover prelims, right? 2 of Venom, 2 of Carnage. He was trying to sell them for he's I don't know where he started, like 1,000 for each pair, and then he said, "I'll take 1,000 for all 4." That's not a $250 a prelim. Wow. There's no way that Matt would sell them for that little. I was thinking Matt was just going to buy them. I mean, it was
right.
It was an odd night. That was the thing. I think Anthony only sold one thing, but when I went back through and I looked at his price sheet, I was like, shoot, man. He's got an Eddie Grant out for $700. He had a painted piece. There's no way Addie does that piece for less than $1,500 at a show. Garcia Lopez color $750. It was just an odd day. A Ruan Colossus that looked freaking awesome. I mean, if I hadn't decided that I was buying something from Matt, I would have bought that one. He dropped it to $600, 11 by 17. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, Anthony, after he was over, he's like, I don't get it. I'm like, well, I don't know. It's an off night. But it happens, right? You can't.
Wait, what's Rick Welch saying? There were Blade Runner pages?
Oh my gosh, there were 2 Blade Runner pages. And
I'm going to go rewatch this tomorrow morning.
Yeah, now I will say that Decker was not on either of them, but one was Chris was on one, and then the scene with the surgeon guy with the eyeballs in the and there, it was that one. I like that one a lot. I mean, he had them both at like, I think we had him at, was he at 5,500? I can't remember, but
were Roy and Leon on that page?
Oh yeah, the Roy and Leon. The final image on it was Roy and Lee close up, in the final panel. I love that page. I mean, the layout was, both of them were fantastic for different reasons, but yeah, it was a weird night because even if Matt didn't sell, he sold his Alex Ross cap cover, but if he didn't sell that, it would have been a really funky, weird night, right? I mean, I don't know. It was weird, but whatever. You should definitely rewind it because there was good art on both sides. So what did I get from Felix? I got an Ian Bertram sketch cover, which here I'll try to make myself a little bit larger. There we go. So I got it's Magneto. He had it for $400, and obviously Ian doesn't go out to shows too often, and I thought, well, this is like my starter piece, right? I mean,
that's sweet.
It is nice. I mean, you can't see all the little tick marks. I mean, there was a lot of fun detail that you expect out of Ian stuff. No weird tentacles or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which Ian is known for. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, for a starter piece, I'm happy. It's a good piece to get.
Very cool. Yeah.
And again, I'm like, okay, if nobody's going to buy it, to me, at $400 for a Bertram anything is a good price.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to check the box.
Right. Exactly. And I have sketch covers, but most of those have been gifts to me, right? I haven't really ever bought. I think this literally is the first sketch cover I've bought.
Same. I've got maybe 2, and they were both gifts.
Yep. Nick Ferrucci says Cyclops was sold out. There was something Cyclops, wasn't there? But it wasn't a Bertram. Like you said, I wanted the Daniel Warren Johnson Beta Ray Bill would have been a good one.
Oh yeah.
that was gone immediately in the art drop. So
I think there were 2 of them, and they were both really cool.
yeah. Well, there was a color Wolverine Daniel Warren Johnson, right?
Yep.
That was really, really nice. But all of those were in the first minute that
Right.
they weren't. I was pacing myself. I forgot about it. I was curious about it because there was a really nice color Thor. You know, I was hoping that might be a deal, but it was I think it was like $800 Ryan Sook in it, but it was a sketch cover. Was it a sketch cover?
Oh man, I remember that one.
Yeah, it was nice, but
His,
it was
his
like
hand colors though, wow.
right. Yeah, it was beautiful. If it wasn't on a sketch cover, I probably
Yeah.
would have considered it. So $800 a little high for me on a sketch cover. $400, I can do that.
Yeah.
The Cyclops by Rosmo was gone quick. Yeah, that was almost immediate. That was a color piece too, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, either way, that was gone in the first minute.
That was a really fun drop. There was like something there for everybody.
It was. It definitely was. So yeah, other than those packages though, I have nothing else to open. So that's good. We can just dive into the well, let's breeze through some heritage stuff real quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of Felix, there's a Brian Lee O'Malley that was about a third this price when I looked at it earlier. So now it was around $500. Now it's up to almost $1,500. But this is from issue 2, Scott versus the World. I mean, if you're going to get a good page, a fight scene from Scott Pilgrim would be it. And this is a DPS, right? So shoot, yeah. I think this is going to make somebody very, very happy to add this to their collection. Then a great Irv Novick. Every week there's a great Irv Novick Joker page or Batman. They're usually both. This is exceptional. I mean, you get Garcia Lopez inks on it. Every single image of the Joker is fantastic. I mean, right? I mean, the last one is like, oh my God, this thing is great. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to buy a Novick page at some point, and this could be the one. I mean, with Garcia Lopez inks on it, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, you look at him, he's distorting anatomy. Look at that guy's nose.
Right.
But it don't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's so
well, he is standing next to the Joker, so
he is. But I think his nose might be bigger than the Joker.
You lose a little perspective.
Oh man, yes. Now this next artist, I have no idea. I don't recognize their name before. I don't think we've ever talked about him. I'll blow it up a little bit. Juan Jose Rip.
Yeah, he was like a kind of frequent Warren Ellis collaborator at Avatar.
Right. I think this was a Warren Ellis book too. But look at this. This is crazy. I don't know anything about whatever this is. Black Summer 5.
He might be. My memory fails me, but he might be the guy that they wanted to do when Warren Ellis was going to write the Wildcats relaunch. That might have been him, and the whole thing imploded.
Right. But I mean, I could see him doing it. I mean, he has such a fine style, like a Travis kind of care for the detail and the work. I mean, look at this stuff. I mean,
European feel to it.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Oh, yeah. Or a little Jeff Darrow as well. But boy, yeah, no, this is cool. I mean, it's only $105. I mean, I think it's amazing. This one I picked just for fun for you DC fans. Look at this Carmen Infantino Swamp Thing toy art with I think it's Alcala inks.
That is so cool,
isn't it? Look at that. He's got like a caveman axe.
You get the toy feel from it.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I mean, look, this is sweet. And again, I don't think we would really ever have thought this was an Infantino piece, but there it is, Infantino and Alcala. This should make somebody happy. And if they collect toys, like the ray gun guy earlier, I mean, this is like the perfect piece for them. Then this one's again a really fun piece. Okay, look, I put a bid on it. I got it read. Okay, I bid $50 on it. Everybody, everybody's just. Whatever, keep it to yourselves. But this is 4 pages by Bill Ray from Crack 226 from an Aliens parody, and it's like the first 4 issues. I mean, look how he's drawn Sigourney Weaver. It's just too. She's so. Wow. I mean, look at this. It's hilarious. But at any rate, this is like the first 4 pages from it, and I mean, you get Sylvester in there. I just thought this thing was awesome. Cracked 226. I didn't check the year. But,
great wash tones too.
Well, it's on dual shade board.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, I see it there on the top left. Yeah.
Yep. But no, that just makes it even all the more fun. I think this thing is awesome. I've always liked Bill Ray's stuff. So
There's a great Sigourney face.
I mean, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that could be like Morrison from the Doors or something. I don't know what Bill Ray was channeling when he was coming up. I don't know. Anyway, bottom line is, I thought this was great, and somebody outbid me. I bid 50, somebody bid 60, and first 4 pages. It's not a complete story or by any means, but where was that one? Yeah, let me see here. I think it was the second page. I should have lingered on that for a second. I mean, just remember the whole scene, right? Look, it's got Stallone. I didn't even look that close. You got
Hulk Hogan, Schwarzenegger,
what's this?
Bronson.
Yes, Bronson. Holy crap, this is so good.
That's funny.
It is funny. All right, there you have it. See, this even makes me. I might have to go to $100 on this one. All right. I thought I was going to go quick through this. How often you get a Mazzucchelli piece? Probably for semi-affordable. Here you go. You had a Star Wars piece inked by Tom Palmer.
Yeah.
So, I don't even need to zoom in on it. I just figured for those of you who wanted to get a piece from David, this is your opportunity. And you got Harrison Ford all over it too. This next piece, it's Tom Mandrake. At first I thought it was Gene Colan. I wasn't going to pick it. And then I was like, it's Mandrake channeling Gene Colan to do this Spectre page. So
there's a lot of that. Yeah. I mean, this book is full of that, really.
Yeah. I mean, the panel layout is reminiscent of something Gene would do. I mean, maybe not the heavy line.
The Spectre face right there for sure. I mean, this like reeks of Colan.
Yeah, it totally does.
That sounded horrible.
It is. Yes, but it's not Colan, But at any rate, hey, now we're talking about Hostess ads a lot these days, and here this is an opportunity. It's only at $3 still. That's weird. It's attributed to Dan DiCarlo and Jim DiCarlo, so I guess we don't know if it's them or not for sure. But it's a Hostess Twinkie ad from Josie and the Pussycats. So you get the color guides with it, and looks like these look like some kind of color proof pieces, but that looks like the color guide. Either way, I mean, everybody wants
deal.
This could be your starter piece. Then I picked this one because I was like, 1988. Bill Jaska is channeling Patrick Nagel to do this. So I don't really love the piece, but it just shows the influence of pop culture.
That's what was happening
on Jaska with this cover. I mean, it's totally from that era of Nagel artwork. There's no way that he wasn't thinking about that when he drew this.
Right.
And then the last piece, it's just another phenomenal David Wright, Carol Day strip from the early '60s. They're always beautiful. We've highlighted a couple of these in the past.
Yeah, those inks are just madness.
It is so nice. I mean, I don't know. It's so funny. I didn't know a whole lot about Carol Day until those books came out. But boy, it's just breathtaking line work in here. This last panel, it's gorgeous. Absolutely.
Well, the fact that we fawn over these, and me personally, zero, maybe negative affection for the source material, but my God, these are beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So it had to be so influential to any artist during this period. I mean, there's no. If Neil Adams were around, I'd ask him, and I bet he'd say that that he was very impressed by David Wright's work. I mean, how could yeah, exactly. There's no way that they couldn't say that. So Nick Verrucci says we're 2 likes away from 40. What's going on here, everybody?
Let's go.
2 likes away from 40. We should be at 50 by now.
We should be double that.
We should be double that. I've been going for 2 hours now, and yeah. Well, hey, I'll take what I can get. But there's our my heritage picks. Now I can do. Thank Nick. I got your video to play, and Nick, I actually watched this one. Nick picked up some pretty interesting art. He's got a few uncanny expert cards that he may or may not offer one or both or none tomorrow. But we get to preview what Nick is going to be showing to everybody tomorrow. Maybe not selling, showing. Here we go.
Everybody, this Friday, November 8th, the Original Art Experience will have a show. I'm not sure if we're going to be selling anything. It's been a crazy week. We'll talk about it on Friday. Well, I'll at least have a few things for sale. So this past Sunday, I actually bought a whole lot of Ron Garney art. So let me show you some of it and we'll go through it. So I've got this beautiful Captain America #4 cover by Ron. This will not be for sale for certain, although Alberto and I may talk. Then I have the covers to Uncanny X-Men 401 and 402. I may make one of those for sale. Then I've got 3 Hulk covers. Looks like Hulk and General Talbot. Check it out. Hulk fighting the Dogs of War. One of those I will probably sell. I will not sell the X-Men 401 page because it's just so funny. I just thought it was cool. I am not going to sell the Wolverine 86 pages, but I want to show you guys. Keep in mind, guys, even though some of these pages are not going to be for sale, I thought it would be cool to show you. You know I'm not selling the Silver Surfer 128 pages because they have Daredevil, and I finally have Ron Garney Daredevil. This Silver Surfer page by Ron is out of this world, where you got Galactus, Silver Surfer, Watcher, Mr. Fantastic, but then you get to all the Fantastic Four, although Human Torch is really small. Then we've got some double page spreads of Captain America. Check out this Hulk page with so many different Hulks. The Clown Hulk from Circus of Crime, Joe Fixit, and so much more. Look at this beautiful splash. Check this out with Man-Thing, Vision, Scarlet Witch. More Vision, Scarlet Witch, Iron Man. You got Wonder Man with the Wonder Man TV series. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna put this here. Then I've got more Hulk art. Some of these are double page spreads. Guys, it's like 90 pages of Garney art that I picked up this past Sunday. Look at that double page spread. So I got to figure out, I'm going to sell some of these, not a lot. Need to figure out which ones. Is this gorgeous or what? Oh, check it out. It's a problem with, oh, look at this, ink by Sal Buscema. The crazy part is, I paid more for these than I've been selling these pages at. So, wow, definitely more, something to think about. Then we've got Surfer versus Hulk, Surfer versus Thing. Like I said, I'll pull a few pages to put up for sale. I just don't know which they'll be. Got to get past this crazy week. Look at that, Surfer and the Fantastic Four. Ooh, another Daredevil and Spider-Man. That goes there. That's definitely not going to be available. Look at that 2-page spread. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Also have some Justice League. So we did get some DC. Check it out. So awesome. MPRX, if you want war, I'll give you war. Just beautiful art. I think Mark Morales inked these pages. And last but not least, since many of us who love Ron Garney love his Captain America run, thought I would show some of these. We've got the original Captain America series. Check out that red skull there. This with the overlay. Man Without a Country. Look at that. So, more to show on Friday. Got lots and lots and, whoa, a whole lot. So we've got Captain America, we've got Captain America Soldier of Liberty, then the third Captain America series, God, with Heroes Return. So, and I'll have other art for sale, I think. So this Friday, November 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, it will be a gorgeous Garni show and tell at the very least. A few pieces will be available to claim, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Please hit that thumbs up and share. Sharing is caring, and I'll see you Friday.
Yeah, he's got the best trailer music. What about that Garni art though?
I don't have a Garni. I actually commissioned him. I got a photo of it. It was beautiful, and it got destroyed on its way to me.
Oh no! And he
Yeah.
did you get your money back or insurance or something like that? Was that
Kinda.
Kinda, but you didn't get any art.
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
I've only
that's
got
what I wanted.
yeah, of course. I've got a Ron Garni sketch, but I don't have any published art by him. That's the good stuff. You know,
He's great.
His style is kind of unmistakable. You're right.
Yep.
That you know, that first X-Men cover is kind of cool, breaking the logo like that and having it all hand on. That was nice. The blob dropping on you, you know, it's cool. I remember that one, but I was like, why would they put the blob on the cover? I mean, like that.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
But the other one was great. But and that cap cover that he's had to start with was pretty nice.
His
All
stuff
right.
on Cap, oh, man alive, so good. All of it was good.
So true. All right, well, let's get into this CAF update so we can start looking at some artwork here. You fellas need to garner a Garni. Thank you, Antoine. That's true. So let's see here. What do we got? CAF update time. This is, what was the period? It was the October 28th through November 3rd. And dealers had an average week, $386,000 compared to $541,000 a week before. We'll see the top 6 sales from dealers last week. We've got a Ditko piece by Mr. Berkey. Sold this for a lot of money. This is from Spider-Man 22. Asking price on this one was $130,000. So even though Felix had a big week, this piece by itself put Mike in front of Felix. Great images of Spidey there at the end of it, though. Then Glenn sold this spectacular Spider-Man 197 cover. Asking price on this one was $40,000. Hey, it's got Cyclops on it. And then we got to like the Many Deaths of Lila Starr. This was a big drop from last week for Felix by Felipe Andrade. This was $15,000. We have Scott Eater. Scott Eater really sold a David Finch Batman and Catwoman splash. That's pretty not up Scott's alley, but $15,000 was the asking price on that one. Then what was this? This was a Tradmore Last Ronin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cover, went for $12,000. And one more of those Many Deaths of Lila Starr. This one went for $7,000. Cool. Nice pen, nice ink work. It's not a pen, right? Yeah. So there you go. With the top sellers, I kind of skipped that, right? Berkey number 1, 153,000. Felix number 2 at 116. So everybody else, what do they matter? Number 1 and number 2 is where it's at. All right, auction houses. What do we got? A average week for auction houses, $332,000 for eBay and for Heritage Weekly. But there also was actually the Ed Asner charity auction was thrown in there. It's the annual auction that Heritage always runs. They usually have a couple, nicer pieces in it. We see nothing sold for a lot at it, but there was a Adam Hughes variant cover, went for $5,600. A Sienkiewicz Superman illustration went for $43 in that, and a Kelly Jones Kevin Nolan Batman illustration sold for $3,700. But the top 3 from eBay and Heritage, what do we got? I don't even know. That's right. This Art Adams Asgardian Storm pinup, very nice. Is it published? I don't know, but it went for $10,100 on eBay. That's cool. Then you get a Don Heck, Steve Ditko Tales to Astonish page. This is from issue 46. Went for $4,200 on eBay. Hey, you get Ditko and Heck in one page. And this, oh man, why did my son crop this thing a little bit? My goodness, what am I paying him for? Sal Buscema, Marvel Team Up 56 page went for $2,850. Then over on Heritage, why did I feature this one? This is a Brian Bolland and Terry Austin Camelot 3000 page, went for $10,800.
That's incredible.
It really is nice. And again, it's back. Why does this? I'm gonna have to talk to him about that animation there. But I swear that piece wasn't even there. How could I not see that piece? You know, when I was reviewing stuff last year, it's impossible. But then, okay, Graham Nolan, all his stuff is going high. Vengeance of Bane, $9,600. Then you have this Ramona Fradon adventure comics piece with Aquaman all over it. Went for $8,400.
That's a good price for it's a big price for Ramona and Aquaman.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, but yeah, but you know, I always have told you, I feel like somehow on those Wednesday drops, there's some pieces that are not there when I check it, because I'm checking it at because I have to put the mailing together and everything. So I'm pretty much pulling my 10 picks at 11 a.m. on Thursday, and they supposedly drop everything at 1 a.m. I never saw that. If I would have seen that, I would have picked that. So there's something funny going on there. I don't know how that's possible. Anyway, moving right along, I guess we can get into our picks now.
All right.
All right. We dive in. What are we at? We got 40 minutes. Hey, we can go past midnight if we need to talk a little bit longer on this. So Dylan Dog, we picked Dylan Dog artwork before, but Corrado Roy, I'm not familiar.
I may have. This doesn't blow up, does it?
It does not.
Dang.
I know.
Look at what's happening with the inks on this page. I mean, it looks like some of it's, Kleenex sponge. Like he really emptied out the toolbox to get some of these effects. I like the kind of janky panel borders that are happening. Like it shifts back and forth a little bit with the width and the height of the panels. They're like elongated in a little bit. I just like texture. That top panel is so effective, like blocking out all of the black in the background and just having his coat be a shape. Yeah, it's just really incredibly expressive, and he makes these such cool choices about how and where he applies those textures, and then more importantly, where he leaves them out.
Yeah, no, so true. Every single panel is fantastic for different reasons. I really, as boring as it is from the backside of two guys, it's brilliant.
It's probably the coolest panel on the page, honestly.
It is. I mean, but I love them all. I mean, I can look at each one of these and think something different. I mean, I love this one too. Just so heavy and rich in the blacks. The figures are really like you said. It's back down to just some simple shapes for their coats and their legs and a shovel, but it works so darn well. And then even this last one, it's like, are they exiting a cave? But he's not really drawing anything around him. But it works. We don't need it. It's funny. I've been looking. I forget which site. I've been doing some research of late. There's one of the European sites I keep stumbling into that has a fair amount of Dylan Dog artwork that's fairly affordable. Not by Corrado, but I'm almost sold. I'm like, we see enough of this. I want to be an owner of a Dylan Dog page.
There's some just absolutely amazing pieces out there.
There really are.
And these books are big. The volume of art that is produced to put one of these out is not insignificant.
Rich James says it was. I apologize, everybody. I haven't been paying as close enough attention to the chat this evening as I should have. It's just been a little bit hectic. Snork always picks the kind. Yeah, that's kind of true.
I know what I like.
Exactly. All right, move into where are we going to from here? I knew this was Tommy Lee Edwards before. Just seeing the first click in the thumbnail. There's just something about sort of the color palette and the way he lays down his marks. I mean, they're just so distinctive.
Yeah, a lot of it, I agree with you, is the strokes, the brush strokes or the marker, the marker marks or whatever, whichever he's using. It's kind of interchangeable for him. He's all over the board with whatever media he's putting down. But I think the thing I like the most about this is the faces on this are really just little blocks, right? They're just little wedges or little blocks or, you know, a circle here and there, but like they still really read his faces. This is as sketchy as, you know, you're liable to see like a color comp from him, but it still really works, you know, as an illustration. Like this could, you know, even in this state would be decent card art, right? And you know that like to finish this, he worked and worked and worked and worked. You know, this was just something he probably did as an exercise, or, you know, he was thinking through a composition or whatever it might be, but it's still really cool as this, you know, little sketchy painting.
No, agreed. I mean, Tommy's, I've always loved his stuff. I think he's just been very consistent for 20 plus years as an illustrator. And I mean, yeah, I love this. I mean, and it's funny, you know, you were mentioning like, you know, he's kind of sparse in line. When we were talking with Ryan earlier, he said he likes to work bigger so he doesn't have to be so detail oriented. I mean, some creators just, you know, like the way they work. I'm sure, like you said, this could have just been a warm up piece for Tommy, but either way, it's a good thing he didn't throw it out.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
the guy on the right, it's just this, you know, a series of like little planes that make up his face, and then how he chose to, you know, paint them, what, you know, what color he used. He adds in a little accent here and there, but it's just, you know, a bunch of shapes that are wedged together that, you know, clearly read as a face. And I think you have to have such a core fundamental understanding of how to draw a figure, how to draw a face, you know, whatever, to quote unquote get away with that. And he clearly has it.
Yes, he does. I mean, Nick Klein.
Yeah, on the opposite end of the spectrum.
This one's just amazing. From, you know, you can feel the heat on this thing. He's picked the right color palette for the fire, right? I mean, we're really used to seeing a Ghost Rider either with with red and yellow, all yellow,
or almost white,
and he's gone in here with this orange and, you know, yellow highlights that just make it feel like an inferno. I mean, it's beautiful, and then with it all being painted, especially the orange next to, you know, the green Hulk. I mean, this piece just pops. It's amazing.
Well, and he does the, you know, he adds little yellow highlights on the Hulk to reflect the, you know, the object source lighting from the bike. And like, really, I think the thing that ties the whole thing together though, for me, is that background. Like he frames the figures with the trees, and then he drops in those beautiful tones in the background for the sky and the, you know, the horizon. It's just smart choices. Like it's a weird thing to say about a color painting, but it's very colorful, right? I mean, he's got blue and red and orange and green and purple, and, you know, there's a lot going on here, but it still looks, you know, graphic. It's all correct, you know, from, if you want to look at it from a color theory perspective, he did it all perfectly. It's really cool.
No, I'm with you 100%. I agree. They're because you're right. The background, the sky really kind of catches you a little bit, but it really does just, I don't know, it accentuates the characters even better just by not being. So no, very nicely done. A lot of, I feel I would have loved to have seen Bernie Wrightson do this piece.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Just looking at it, this would have been a really badass Wrightson drawing. If he were still around, he would have crushed it. Nick did a great job at it, but yeah, you get the Hulk and this. What was this Ghost Rider's deal? I know this was like the first.
He's like the World War II Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
There's a new book out. What's it called? Hell Hunters, I want to say. That's kind of like an alternate, like maybe, you know, quote unquote darker, grittier, whatever version of the Invaders, and he's in that.
Okay. Ghost Rider 44. Okay. I know you're a fan of Tony Harris.
I am.
It goes without saying, but so am I. I mean, he's so smart, intelligent graphically. I mean, he has a way with just composition. I mean,
well, this Art Deco stuff from Starman, I mean, it just lends itself to graphic design. Like, it is graphic design, right? But I mean, when you throw it into an illustration like this, one, you instantly know where you're at, right? You're Opal City. This is Starman. Like, it's become such, it's part and parcel with this character. And I love the Golden Age characters. He's got Ghostly David there in the middle. You got Ted at the bottom. I just like, for a Starman fan, yes, this is not part of the, original run or whatever you want to say, but as an homage to that run by the artist that was doing it at the time, to me, this is better than what he was doing then. He's only grown. He's only gotten better. He's only gotten more refined and more committed to his, stylistic choices over that time. This is as good as you can do for a Tony Harris Starman piece. This is maybe the best you can do. This is one of my favorites that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love just the use of the pencil and the figure in the center too. It's just it works so well.
Right.
I'd like to see this one in person. I think everybody else likes this one too.
Good.
Rich Danny says it feels like clue to staging and design. Yeah, a little bit there, I guess. I could see that. And NSN said that he would like to see an Amish Ghost Rider someday.
There's already a Western Ghost Rider. I mean, he's on a
horse or
yeah.
Well, speaking of DK Ruan, we have a variant cover to the Flash. Wow.
Yeah, everything on this is moving. Like this is just off the charts as far as how active this whole piece is. I mean, he drew movement lines basically through or over top of like most of the architecture in the background because they're kind of coming off his arm. But like everything that's around the Flash is distorted by those speed lines. And like, I cannot believe on the one hand that this is traditional, but then on the other hand, I'm like, thank God that it's traditional because we get to see it like this.
Yeah, it's amazing. The more I look at it, the way he handled the backgrounds, it's brilliant. Because you're right. I mean, at first I thought everything was kind of like washed out in the same sort of way, but it really isn't. It's really, like you say, just along the line of his arm.
Right. If you get away from the Flash, like if you look at where it gets darker right there in the top right.
Yeah.
It's more, it's heavily rendered. It's, it's blacked in.
Yep. Wow, this is fantastic.
Really, yeah, incredible stuff.
Whose CAF gallery is this? Oliver, period.
Hey.
You're a member of CAF. Wow, this is it's amazing. It's fantastic. I love this.
And I mean, if you're gonna draw the Flash, geez, like do it like this.
Go all out.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's hey, we've got some great artists working in comics these days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now what do we pick here? We got an X-Force page, and it's Tony Daniel and Kevin Conrad. Now, is this a nostalgic pick for you?
Yes and no. It's more like I really liked when Tony Daniel was kind of like working in this Marvel-y style. I'm not the biggest Tony Daniel fan. Honestly, I think this was kind of when I liked him the most. So in that respect, definitely yes. I'm also a sucker for like a big team shot like that on a page. So it's got that going for it too. Also I feel like I'm compelled to pick something with mutants on it every week. So here's the token mutant pick.
Yes, definitely. I always like Conrad's work too. I mean, I know this is Daniel pencils, but it's a good combination.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, no, it's not too bad. I was never a big X-Force fan, but no, this is a good page. The like on that one, Byron B. Let's see. Toth, Scorpion 3 Rejected cover.
How do you reject this cover?
That's a good question. Why? I mean, it's got so much classic styling in it. Back to old pulps, but it's modern enough in composition that it's the best of both worlds. It's like, did the book just go out of print or something? Did they fold? Is that why it didn't get?
Yeah, I mean, very well could be. It is Atlas, but like the way he staged the composition with those doors and the fact that the Scorpion's like throwing the doors open, like you do get, it's a pretty static image, but you do get a sense of like kind of power and movement from just that element of it, just, just the main character. And then does it blow up?
No, it doesn't.
Damn.
I love the figure on either side of the door, right? I mean,
right. That's what I was gonna say. The expressions on those guys, or like the caricature kind of their faces, is just great.
Yeah, this is amazing. Wow, that is awesome. I did not see that one until you sent the pics in. But Rich Donnelly.
Oh.
Now I have to say this, and I imagine a lot of people don't comment on Rich's artwork because he's a dealer and all that stuff. But it's kind of incredible, and I'm I'm not. I'm going to show you this because this is just striking. I think the stigma of him being a dealer on the site. I bet you if we looked at Berkey's gallery, he doesn't get a lot of comments either. But where was I at? Did I go to his like most viewed? So it was like 2 weeks ago when I was in his calf looking at stuff, and yeah, I think I went this route, and I was looking like a first, Dave Cockrum Nightcrawler drawing only has 3 comments on it.
Wow.
A Neil Adams X-Men splash from issue 62 has 7 comments on it. I think people just like look at it and say, "Oh, it's Rich Donnelly. He's an agent rep, part of the machine. So we don't want to leave a comment on there." Stranko's X-Men 51 cover only has 5 comments on it.
I think if it's my mind talking to me, I'm like, well, of course he has that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there is an element of like, I guess
you don't want to say, oh man, awesome. But look at as an X-Men fan, he's got the cover to 38, the cover to 61, the cover to 45 right here, and none of them have more than 8 comments. And I'm not trying to guilt anybody. It's just it almost makes me sad that there's wonderful works of art like that on CAF that nobody has.
The art is deserving of comments.
The art is deserving, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, you could go through here and find a lot of that because I think maybe that's what I did first. Like if you look at and I'm not trying to belabor this. So his most commented piece has 7 comments. A Neil Adams X-Men splash. His Mannix almost has more. It's great. It's just crazy. At any rate, I like Rich a lot. So, but yeah, somebody, even if you don't want to leave a comment, people should like tour through his calf gallery from time to time because holy crap! I mean, that Stranko 51 cover is unbelievable.
Yeah, isn't this where we say don't hate the player, hate the game?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I've always been envious of Rich's collection.
Wait, is that a Bachalo Punisher cover? Can you scroll down, please?
It is a Punisher Xmas 08 cover. 3 comments.
Will you click on it? Sorry. You're just browsing for me now. Oh, man.
Look at that. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Christmas lights and all.
Yeah.
And at least Colin featured it a couple of years ago. Thank you, Colin. Yeah. At any rate, everybody, I get it, but I was surprised, because I just don't think, I've probably never looked at Berkey's calf gallery. It's probably exactly the same, but it was just a little surprising. It was the app again. I was in there for doing something in the app, and I was like, some of this stuff just kind of like hits, pops out a little bit more because of that. Anyway, so here we go. What do we got here? Alex Lynn's Plastic Man, No More, issue 1. Huh.
I love the ink happening on the page. That's it's a funny thing to say, but that's a great drawing of Detective Chimp. I mean, it's really nicely rendered. Like he really went all out on, like the elements of the suit and like the fur and all that kind of stuff. But really, I love the literal floating head dialogue stuff happening on the bottom of the page. Plus, if you have Plastic Man and Detective Chimp on the same page, like you're killing it.
Yeah, you are. I have to say, while I know Detective Chimp, I've never read a single comic with Detective Chimp in it.
I'm not too surprised. If you think DC is too goofy as it is, Detective Chimp is not the character for you.
See, you wonder why I don't need to define my apathy for
Yeah.
DC artwork or stories, but because I mean, do we have talking chimps in Marvel? I mean, there probably is a talking chimp.
Yes. Isn't
But
there a
he's not wearing a
Hitmonkey?
detective suit and for like a Sherlock Holmes and a
Yeah.
tie.
But what about Dupe?
Dupe, okay.
What's Dupe?
All right, come on. Dupe was cool, and he was in the X-Men, or or
Yeah, okay. All right, Bill. Keep digging.
Hit Monkey. I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you guys got me. Bubbles is still alive, says Marcus. Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
Like I think awesome inking on this page, really more than anything, and that's a great shot of Detective Chimp.
Okay. I like the way he's drawn Plastic Man in here too.
Yeah.
Very nice. The EC's got that big watermark. Man, EC. Nobody's going to ever not know which pieces are yours. That is for certain. And let's see here. Oh, I'll tell you, this will make you laugh because I didn't read who the artist was on this, and I loaded it up, and I'm like, oh, look, it's somebody trying to draw like Mobius.
Doing a great job of it, too.
Great job drawing like Mobius. And then I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. but this is a very cool illustration, and not quite what I would I don't know. There's a little bit more detail in here than a Mobius, which was why when I saw it, I thought, oh, it's somebody trying to draw like using his style.
Sure.
And then I felt dumb, but there's a bit more detail in here. I mean, a lot of times you wouldn't get like this line work in the background for the sky, right? That would just be there wouldn't be anything there at all, and maybe there wouldn't be as much detail in this whatever that is.
I think it's that's really dependent on the project. In my experience with him, and like there is stuff where like you can never accuse an issue of Blueberry of not having like detail, right? Or a lot of rendering or whatever. But this this has got pretty much anything you would want from a Mobius in it. I mean, he's doing design. It's got the the typical like very fine line work you want to see. The composition's incredible. He's really he's going out of his way to those nice, neat lines in the background are being broken up by that. I don't even know what that is, like cloak or element. It looks like there's a dragon skull in part of it. I don't know.
First, right? But then it's like his head, and you're right. It looks like I don't know what's going on here, but it's it's dated 1986, so that's like prime era for his work. So, and what is it called? Strength of a Man portfolio plate. Oh, and it's not in English, so I don't get to read the description.
Right.
Well, Rogelio Arias. I mean, he never saw that name before. 12 years on calf, French collector. Well, it's a great piece.
And that is an absolute, cornerstone of anybody's collection.
I wouldn't mind owning it. Now that I know it's Mobius.
Not some imposter.
Right. So here we go. We have Ron Sonnenthal, Crisis on Infinite Earths piece. Is Nick Berrucci watching?
I think he bugged out.
Oh, that's too bad. You get Metal Men in there. See, I know a few DC characters here or there. Good Teen Titan stuff. Like, it's a great page.
This is really, the coolest thing so Crisis came out when I was a kid, like a little kid. And the coolest thing about Crisis for me was how they jammed every DC character onto every freaking page of this book. And this has that. And it's got this awesome image of the Spectre. This is basically like the art team at the time for DC. Like this was peak DC. And anyway, so you couple like the best art team with all of these characters. You get this cool, like the Prince Gavin Starman panel at the bottom has got that tone over top of it to give it like an effect. It's just as Crisis pages go, you got to be very, very happy with this.
Definitely. Well, Ron's got a great collection and a good eye. This is a special page. I agree with you. That Spectre image up there at the top is fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd say like that's for me. That's a Perez piece from this era is something missing from my collection. it doesn't really matter what the subject matter is, but just at some point I'm going to have to add something from it. Either a Titans page. I don't know if a Crisis page would be.
I wish they would have. I wish they would have done more.
Yeah.
More Crisis, but like Ordway and Perez, like, god damn, look at these pages.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah, okay, I did get like on that one. Ron, you're just adding on to your amazing collection continually. All right, so that was your 10. I can do my 10 now, right? Cotty. Tim Vigil. I mean, we can't talk about Tim Vigil too often, but this is a Faust piece, right, from 1989. It's not like a. Is it like a duo shade? I can't tell. I didn't think it was at first, but yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is duo shade, but either way, well done. I mean, I love. I just think it's fantastic. I mean, Tim is a very skilled illustrator. I mean,
for sure.
Regardless
very
of
disturbed and very skilled.
Exactly. I was gonna say, regardless of his subject matter,
yes,
he always everything is well rendered. He is. He's fantastic. It doesn't. I mean, whatever. His choices are his choices, but we don't get to show a lot of his work on here because of the subject matter. So I thought that this was just a great piece, and Coffee's been picking up some interesting pieces of late.
For sure. Yeah, not what I would consider in his quote unquote wheelhouse.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Right. When you go to his gallery, I mean, he's got it's been up there a while. He has a Neil Adams X-Men pages featured set of 12. The Sentinels flying into the sun. Holy crap!
Yeah.
How did Coffee get that? I don't even have a Neil Adams X-Men.
Hey.
Vigil. Yeah, I always thought it was Vigil. What am I wrong?
I thought it was Vigil.
Vigil.
I mean, that's the word vigil is spelled like that.
Yeah. Vigil as in vigilante.
Okay.
I think I've probably done it both ways, but Vigil.
When you said it Vigil, I was like, oh, there's something I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I think it's just too late. Vigil. I like Vigil. Tim Vigil. But this is a great piece. Really, really well done, Kavi. Great example.
So much blood.
There is. I honestly, I didn't even realize that until afterwards. I love the composition and the logo as being part of it. But yeah, wow, that is a lot of blood. Oh well, c'est la vie to whomever that was. Then this piece was in Dan Poddick's calf gallery, and well, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Moore fan. I mean, I think this works okay. I just thought this was kind of cool. It literally is from Walking Dead 1, first appearance of the zombies. I just think
historic.
It basically launched a TV franchise because it was so in its own way revolutionary with the storytelling and the characters, and I was just like, shoot, how can I not feature this? We had a lot of really cool horror related art posted last week because of Halloween and everything, so it was kind of hard to not pick a few pieces that came out of some kind of a frightening, scary genre. And so when I came across this one, I was like, this is the one, one of the pieces I wanted to feature. And again, it's Dan Poddick picking this thing up. I thought Dan only, I thought he was stuck in his, 79 to 86 groove kind of thing. But I guess I'm wrong. He has
maybe everybody is broadening their horizons.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's an interesting time for us as collectors. And I think, and sometimes if we can't afford the things we want, or there isn't enough of it out there, you got to start looking elsewhere.
Well, I bought a Wolverine piece this year, for Christ's sake. I mean,
what?
Yeah.
Didn't have a thing on it?
No, he wasn't even mentioned.
Oh man, revolting development. All right. Well, congrats to Dan for this one. And then this one, I know you gave me you were like, you got to pick this one. I was going to pick this one anyway if you didn't.
Of course you were. I had to make sure.
No, I mean, the best street clothes fight between any two characters in Marvel history, happened in this book. And it's just awesome. I mean,
I think this is my favorite sequence in any X-Men comic.
Agreed. I mean, Colossus was, he was down. And this was just great. Wolverine being like, just let's let the guy get his ass kicked. It might do him some good, And it's just a great page. Dan Green inking it. Yeah, one of my favorite stories from all of X-Men.
I mean, there's another page. He
Yeah.
has 2 pages. Yeah.
Oh, I did not see that one. But John Bamber has an amazing collection. And he's been in the hobby collecting for a very long time. I think there was a little period of time where he was out of collecting, probably because of work or family or whatever. But he's definitely back at it. He's been sharing on CAF the last year, and it's really good to have him back because he collects from an era that of work that I've always enjoyed. And he was there when I got started. He was one of the few, one of the people in the ComicArt L that posted, every now and again. And that, for me at least, he's somebody that I will always look up to. From the
Well, you
things.
get stuff like this. I mean, come on.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, what is it? Lots of Colossus. All right, great piece of art in John Bamber's CAF gallery. Now, this piece, Mark Levy, or is it Levy? Maybe both ones. No. I've always
You're in your head now.
Exactly. I'm gonna always be second guessing myself now. This is it's Gene Colan and Vince Colletta, and it's a Medusa. What is this? Medusa solo story, 1968. I just this era of Colan's work is just always really fun. I didn't like, so it's not for me. It's not nostalgic. I mean, this is 68. This is the year I was born, but when I go back and I look, these are the comics that I would be picking up and reading that my uncles had, and so in that way it's nostalgic because it really is like the first books that I was reading, and Gene Colan was such a big part of that. I mean, he was really prolific during this time period, and I don't know. I see this page and it's like I love it. It makes me think of my childhood. So, and there's a Colan. Yeah, there is. Look at that. It is. But great piece. And Coletta's inks aren't so terrible on this one.
I love the perspective on that top panel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. This is nice. And and I don't see them too often, but the stories, the stamps like this for Marvel superheroes. I don't think I own a single page from this kind of era of Marvel where there's an actual stamp on it. Everything's always handwritten. I don't know. As dumb as that is, that's kind of part of the process. I think that's cool. I want to own a piece of art that has a Marvel stamp on it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Sign of the time.
Is Mark here to correct me on his last name? I was hoping he would tell me if is it Levy or Levy. Now, everybody wants to know now, or at least I do. All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe he'll correct me at some point in the future. So this was it was George Hodge, right? Let me make sure. Of course.
Check the radio. It's got to be George.
Yes, you get a guitar, and it's 99% it's in George's cat. So just a great Scotty Young image. I mean, I don't pick a lot. I don't know if I've ever picked a Scotty Young piece myself. I mean, I think
maybe once.
Yeah, I mean, I like his work a lot. His compositions are good. Typically, his covers are a lot like this, where they're very focused on the figures. So you get images that are a little bit more stark, not a lot of background. I just think this piece works really well. I like the foundation that the character is standing on, the arrowhead, the arrows and the swords and the head and a spike and a pike is it's all fun, and you get the character shredding in here too on a true axe. So,
and I would rather see something like this where it's like not a superhero kind of rendered in this style, or it's not like a baby version of a superhero or something. Like this is more, I don't know, appropriate, I guess, for like this style in my mind. So like it kind of lets you, like, irrespective of it being Scotty or whatever, you're like, oh, this is just a cool piece of art.
Yep. No, I agree. It's awesome. And I see Mark. It's Levy. I was right. But he says it's not the common way. So, okay. So I've been pronouncing it the uncommon way, but at least I was right. That's all that matters to me. All right. But this is a great piece, George. Yeah. When I was at IX, there was one of the exhibitors there had like 3 or 4 paintings with characters with guitars. They're unfortunately all sold. But I still sent a photo to George just to be like, if I was here early enough, you might have liked these. Oh man! All right, what do we got? I think halfway through here. So Nicholas Delort, I mean,
Wow.
there's not many pieces by Delort on calf.
I
And
missed this. I definitely would have picked this.
right, I mean, look at this thing. It's a decent sized scan. I think there's only about
Ooh.
12 to 16 pieces on calf by them. But again, it's in the horror vein, and I was just like, all right, this one's too hard not to feature. It's
Is this scratchboard?
I don't know. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it is now. I'm gonna have to read because I didn't I should have checked that one beforehand, right? Yeah, it is scratchboard. Yep, exactly. It's amazing.
Very cool.
So well done. Gosh, I mean it's like an engraving. I mean it is.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it literally is an engraving.
you're right. Okay, there you go. It's
Right?
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean just
Yeah.
playing
Wow.
with the lighting in here. I mean just it's so fantastic.
Painting with a razor blade, basically.
Uh-huh. That's so crazy.
Whew.
And Gene Park, right? Yep, that's in Gene's calf gallery. Gene, wonderful, wonderful piece. I'm jealous. I think it's amazing. Yeah, there's a gosh, I forget the name of the woman that used to. She wasn't at IX this year, but she does a lot of work just on scratchboard, and she's amazing too. The effects you can get, you know, like that with the lighting.
It's
And
really singular. Like that's why you kind of know it when you see it.
mm-hmm. Wow. All right, keeping it going. I picked this James Heron because it was a nice color image, but who doesn't like Heron's work? I thought this was great. It's a Hellboy. It was very fitting for the week when I was. I think I picked this image when was it posted on Halloween? Yeah, it was the 31st. I was making the slide that day, and this image just kind of stuck out to me on the pieces added on the 31st. So Heron's great. This is great. Can't go wrong. And who's calf gallery? Oh, Tyler T. Jeez, man.
That's the only reason I didn't pick it. I was like, we talk about Tyler plenty on this
We
show.
do. That's well, because he picks up too much good stuff.
I know, and I really love this. Wolves of St. August, probably maybe my favorite Hellboy story. So this was really cool to see. I saw it online, and then I had to give Tyler some shit because it was his.
Yeah, that does look like it does remind you of Ace Ventura, Jerry Warren. Definitely does.
Except it's the other direction.
Right, it is. You're right. It's
Yeah.
yeah. But good eye, Jerry. Good eye. All right. Oh, I could not pick a Wrightson piece for Halloween too. I actually saw this piece. I'm pretty, who knows? I don't know if who owns this piece. Scott R. I don't know if Scott got this from Mike or not, but Mike did have this piece when I was still living in Ohio, and it's really large. I mean, it's probably like 24 inches tall. So you wouldn't think that. You'd think it might be only like 17 by 6, but it's really more like 10 by 20 or 22. I mean, it's large. So it's just a fantastic image, and
That's got to look great on a wall.
From 1973. God, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. And in a format. I mean, how often are we going to see Wrightson, work this kind of format? I mean, never. It's the only piece I've ever seen like that. So
I really like the Art Nouveau lettering too.
Yeah. Of the era, he could have had like Jeffrey Jones helping him out, give him some suggestions on how to do the lettering there. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, just the work in the tree. I mean, it's just beautiful. And that little second head just popping out, you almost don't notice it, and then there it is. Love this thing. All right, so 2 more to go here. This McManus piece. I don't know. I like McManus's work a lot, and this is just really, really gorgeous. I mean, I don't have to be a DC fan to love this piece. And
I think like Dr. Fate was his finest hour for me. Yeah,
very true. Yeah, this is great. And was it colored by somebody else? Alex Sinclair. Okay, but I think it's just gorgeous, and I had it. And the format's kind of cool, right? It's just not not 100% like an 11 by 17. It's a little bit narrower, and that's fine. It works so well with this. Like on that one, and then what did I pick for last? Oh, Greg Hildebrandt.
Oh yeah.
Mickey. Yeah, Mickey posted this one. Obviously, we lost Hildebrandt last week, and it's a huge loss to and so the thing is Hildebrandt influenced so many of this era, and the fact that he was such a nice guy too just makes the loss even greater. But when I saw this piece, because we always think of Greg's work and its color, and it's very, very colorful too.
Yep.
Right? I mean, he definitely his later work was really, really bright. I mean, all the time, and to see this piece just doing it in gray tones, was just nice to see. And I was surprised to see it in Mickey's collection. Right? Again, it's just not something that I would say, oh yeah, that would be something Mickey would own, but just a nice piece. And I just felt like we needed to highlight one Hildebrandt.
It's cool because so I had a painting teacher tell me once that painting is about light. That's pretty much all you need to know how to do to be a decent painter, is to understand how light works. And what's cool about this piece to me is that you see it here and there's no color. This piece is still about light, so he's still acting as a painter.
Yeah, this is nice. Just thinking back, the last time I saw Hildebrandt was at IX, and he was working on it was like a 2 foot by 3 foot painting that was a recreation of X-Men '94.
Really?
It was huge. I tried going back through I know I've taken a photograph of it and I couldn't find it, but I wanted to show it off because it was so good. I mean, I look back, I have no idea. I don't think I asked him what he was doing it for. More than likely he was commissioned to do it, but it was stunning. I mean, looking back, so many pieces I've seen of his, I would love to own that piece. And so congrats to Mickey for having this in his collection. I think
very cool.
He's had it for a while, but he chose to share it this last week. So
he probably pretends that that's like Shadow Lass and like Monel or something on that page.
Yeah, that's probably true. But look, scanned with Cam Scanner. He did it all off his phone. Very good.
Cam Scanner, I'm telling you, man. It's the
best.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to look into utilizing that on the app. I think I know there's a API for it.
If you've got a piece that's like already on the wall and I never added it at the calf, or it's a crappy scan because it's old or whatever, it works great for that. And then more importantly for me, so I have 11 by 17 flatbed, but if you have a piece that is not going to fit on your 11 by 17 flatbed, Cam Scanner.
Got it. Well, I actually posted a piece to CAF today from the app because we're in final testing. I thought it would be submitted by now. It's not, but here I can show you, because you said take a picture of a piece on a wall. I did just that when I was just going through some last tests. I should have cropped it with the tools in there, but it didn't come out too bad. This one
looks good.
I did this one on my iPhone. It came out. I have a really old, but I was surprised.
That's pretty tight. Yeah.
It got a lot better detail than I was expecting. So this is you just using an iPhone 10 and using and the lighting on it happened to be pretty good. That's a Daryl Sweet Xanth prelim wraparound cover, but I didn't have it in my calf. I was a little surprised, so I figured I'd take a picture of it. And it's under, it is under glass, right? Yeah, it's because like the blue dots are light.
Yeah, you get a little reflection.
Yeah. So at any rate, just speaking of that. So the thing is, if you have a decent camera on your phone, the app will do fine for pieces on the wall. I haven't had great luck trying to lay things down. And it's a lighting issue more than anything else. So people who once they have the app think they want to switch and not use a scanning utility. I mean, I think it's still going to be a little bit of figuring it out in your house how you want to do it, because I haven't quite figured out, at least laying them flat, how to get a good consistent photograph of them. But yeah, this came out okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right, let me close that. But let's see. Tim says, "Oh yeah, Tim. No, leave it. My new catchphrase is leave it to Larry." Because Larry managed to find 2 bugs today that literally can't make it into we can't release it because of
the build.
They're right, but they're totally minuscule. But it's but surprisingly, yeah, leave it to Larry. I mean, I just like my well-rendered T-shirts that I think I might be putting up. I might have a leave it to Larry T-shirt as well, because yeah, he found a bug that what is it on Android, because he can't get his iPhone to work, so he's using an old Android. When you're posting from an Android, even if you're premium, it's not. It's resizing it to the 800 as if you're not premium.
Oh,
which was a good catch, because I've been taking
absolutely.
But the funny thing is everything, I'm just looking at it on the app typically. I'm not going back to look at it on CAF. So an 800 tall pixel or image, you don't really notice that it's 800 tall. But you go to the website and it stands out, because that was the thing. I think this is from my iPhone. The other piece I posted was this one, and this is from the Android, and it's 800 pixels tall. So I don't know if Larry and I kind of caught it. He might have said it and I didn't believe him, and so I did my own, and I'm like, well, son of a bitch. Right. So I went back. I created a bug in our tracking program, and I'm like, somehow that's out there. And what was the other one? How was the other one? It was something. Oh God, it's even dumber. I don't even want to talk about it. It's so dumb, and I've told it to Maureen. She's like, that's impossible. And I'm like, I know it's impossible, but it's true. But yeah, believe me, I'll say it just because it's so dumb. You'll even get a kick out of it. It's so dumb. If you add a piece, and it used to work before. I know what he fixed that broke this. But if you add an artwork on the app with only one artist, it will show up fine in the app, that one artist. But on the website, it has no artist showing. Now, I know, doesn't make any sense, right? But it gets even weirder. If you then go back and edit it from the app and you add a second artist, both artists show up now on the website fine. Now, and again, they're always showing up fine in the app. And if you delete one of those two artists, that the remaining artist, if you go back to the website, is there now. It's only when you first add it. I have absolutely no. It's a literal impossibility. It's a cross-reference table, right? This artist is assigned to this artwork ID. It can't not show it.
Right.
It's not showing it on the website. And I told it to Maureen, and she's like, "It's a literal impossibility." So I don't know how the hell Andy did that, but
there it is.
And again, leave it to Larry to find those two, because that's it. Those are the only two things. So OAX, hell yeah. I mean, you will. There's no. I know. Okay, I don't want to say it'll be the end of November, but because I don't know what the approval process is like. But those two bugs will be fixed by tomorrow, and there's no way this thing isn't submitted for approval on Monday. So
I've had two different experiences with it. One, the Google Play was done in like a day, and then Apple only took like 2 days. It was so fast. Wow, and then another where it took like 3 weeks for Apple.
All right, well, we'll see. But I think, like I said, there is no way it's not submitted on Monday for approval, because that was it. I mean, I was
your lips to God's ears, Bill.
Yeah, I am so. Nobody can understand it. I mean, the app has occupied my more time for me than I would have liked. But I mean, it's all going to be, it's going to pay dividends in the end for everybody to have it. But yeah, I mean, every time I'd get a build, I'd spend an hour going through it again, and then having to go back to our program and give him what works, what doesn't work, what formatting wasn't right, take screenshots, make notes. It's been a lot of extra effort, and we're already starting our list for V2. We want to have a V2 come out within 60 to 90 days after V1, because there's just so many things we want to add into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Chris, as always, it's fun to hang out with you. We're all 8 minutes past the hour.
That's not too bad.
No, not bad at all. But you enjoy your weekend. I always like getting to hang out and talk art with you, as you know.
You too, buddy.
We'll do it again next week.
Have a good night.
All right, everybody, we did it. CAF OAX Photo Gallery. Yeah, that's there will be one, I imagine. But yeah, so no worries about the app. It will be. I'd like to. I mean, just what Chris just said. I mean, maybe we get lucky and it's a 2-3 day turnaround. I kind of doubt it. I have more than likely, since we're like an image based app. They literally do have people that go through it and look at it. So I have a feeling it's not going to be a click your heels and away we go. But if we can get it out before the end of the month, we'll all be happier for it. And you'll definitely be using CAF more than you ever have before. So, all right, I'm calling it a night. Like I mentioned, I will have a show on Saturday, right, at 2 p.m. Saturday with Mr. Linsner. I still haven't gotten an email from him. I've been paying attention to it just in case I could show anything off, but I don't have any scans from him yet. So look for my email tomorrow, and hopefully you'll see some imagery in there. Obviously, I'm sure it'll be cover intensive like they always are. I know he's always sharing a lot of his Red Sonja and Vampirella work of late on Facebook. So I would have to believe we're going to see a lot of that. But he is going to OAX. I've sent him emails asking him if he'd be open to doing some pre-con stuff, and I have no idea if he's going to or not. But I'm going to try. So that might be a part of the show on Saturday. I mean, if it is, and nobody takes him up on it, I definitely will, because I've always I've only commissioned it one time, and I was dumb enough to sell it, and I've always wanted to replace it. So that's it. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and I will see you again soon.